Welcome to Tech This Way.
We'll just play it by ear. Okay, say hi.
Hi. You
Okay,
can hear
cool.
ke macam mana?
Okay, so the next level is, everybody has their microphones and all that, right?
Okay, got
I'm
it.
sorry, the headphones. But what I
Okay, got
realized is, this is fine. It's a lot more natural when you just speak
Yeah.
without that thing around your head.
Okay. Yeah,
Can?
that's fine.
Can? So anyway, good
Oh, we're
afternoon.
starting already?
Thanks for coming in. Yeah,
You're
I always
welcome.
like to shock people and
Oh my
do that.
goodness. Okay, hi.
Hi,
Thank you.
Nina. It's good to get to know you.
Yeah. I think we met on LinkedIn and that was like
Yeah,
like
right.
so
Then
cepat,
suddenly,
right?
Yeah, I was supposed to be on your program first, then instead now you have it on mine first.
Yes, yeah. So we're gonna have you on the 25th. No, in July, second
In July.
week.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
about the time when this thing is gonna come out, I guess.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
you're building it up and then you're gonna put it up.
It's just a question of backlog.
Okay,
Because
got
I've
it.
got because I
Record
do
it.
a bunch of these things and then I
Okay.
only release it every Saturday.
Okay,
Every
got
Saturday
it.
morning. So now
Mhm.
it's like, I've got 4 or 5 in the backlog.
You know what they say, right?
What do they say?
In my over research of
Huh.
podcasting,
Huh.
because we're converting our episodes into a podcast.
Okay.
They said that the best days to come out with an episode is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but that's because people start their work, kind of thing.
I guess which audience is that, Kan?
Usually it's people who drive and stuff like
Ah.
that.
What
I
I
mean, who's your
found-
audience?
Whoever I spam out on Facebook groups and
Good job,
WhatsApp.
good job. Uh-huh.
But what I found is, okay, so how it started was quite funny. So initially it was podcast first.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So it was only on Spotify and iTunes and all that. When I spam people on that, the listenership was pretty much in the next couple of hours and then the day after.
Oh wow.
Right,
Okay.
so that
uh-huh.
was and not even that sustainable. And I was doing it like once a week. Still,
Okay.
it was still once a week.
Mhm.
I don't think I had a day then. I was just like, okay lah, it's ready. I'll just publish it out, right?
Mhm.
Then I realized, so I had this going, the recording.
Oh right. Okay. Mhm.
Then on my second episode, I just kind of pushed both, right? I put the audio out on
You put it on
podcast,
YouTube
and then I
as
put it
well?
on YouTube, right?
Mhm.
The YouTube one exploded, right?
Really? Wow.
Compared to.
But you had some really good guests.
I have.
Yeah.
I have,
So
right?
and that helps because
present
you think,
guests
yes.
included, kan?
I
Of
don't
course.
know about that.
So anyway, so then I realized, and my Spotify part was a little bit there, but the YouTube went berserk, right? And I
Right,
said,
yes.
okay.
That's one of the
So-
ways you promote, by the way.
I guess so. And then I realized, okay, so I guess Malaysian, this is a long way around to what I was going to get at, right? So then I find Malaysians like videos, right?
Right. Okay. Yes.
Then I said, okay, then I was putting out on YouTube, and then I would put the link out on
Facebook
LinkedIn
or
and
whatever,
Facebook,
yeah.
right? What I realized later
Mhm.
is that if you put the video up on Facebook direct,
Uh-huh.
it has a lot more data, a lot more reach.
Yes.
So that
It's
overtook
called
YouTube, right?
native video.
So
Yeah.
langgar lah, right? So
Yes,
I was
just
just like,
good job.
so-
I would
so,
high five
over
you, but there's
last-
social distancing. Woo!
So for the last 3-4 months, it's been that lah. So
Uh-huh.
back to your point on you release it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right?
Uh-huh.
What I have found for my listeners and viewers is they watch it on Saturday mornings.
Oh wow, really?
So I would push it out. I will start spamming on Friday night, say,
Okay.
and then Saturday morning is scheduled
And
out.
where do you spam it? On LinkedIn.
WhatsApp group and Facebook and LinkedIn. That's my 3.
WhatsApp group, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And then Saturday mornings and Saturdays is when people watch it. When I released it in the middle of the week, nobody does.
Nobody watched it.
Yeah,
Have you
so
tried Monday, Tuesday? No.
I have.
Okay, and
I have.
still it sucks.
Still.
Okay, very
There was
good.
a time during MCO when I was pushing it out every other day because I had a lot of content.
Uh-huh,
Right? I was doing short interviews and things like
Yes.
that. And then, but so not much. But somehow the weekends are the ones. So I said, okay, I'll stick to what works for now.
Okay.
Kan? But anyway, sorry, we're supposed to talk
No,
about
no,
you.
no. It's okay. It's good.
So-
We're gonna be talking about this and what we love is you're a CEO. Is what we've been telling people that CEOs, you're gonna be the next business influencer, or we call it CXO influencer. So
Right.
you could be a chief like me. I'm also the chief pimping officer because I
Huh.
jual orang.
Huh.
Chief happiness officer. We've got the chief cow team officer, the COO. So moving forward, we're all gonna be like business influencers, you know, like the Gary Vaynerchuks, the Seth, the guy from Salesforce and everything. So, you know, Virgin, Tony Fernandez.
It's personality based, you know,
Personality
even though,
based,
you know, everybody tries to go away
and
from
especially
that, right?
with LinkedIn, because LinkedIn just introduced video last year. Okay, last year, sorry.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. They just introduced video, and even LinkedIn Live was on beta last
When
year.
you say
They
introduce
launched
video,
it.
meaning you can upload it into LinkedIn directly,
Yes,
like
and
Facebook.
maximum 20 minutes. So before this, and
okay.
every time when video is introduced into a social media platform, there's the rise of influencers. So you will find that some executives, you know,
interesting.
like a senior exec, ada 8,000 followers, and then you've got like, you know,
Ay,
guys.
ratus-ratus pun cukup. You know, they're more happy than that.
No, but the reach and the organic reach on LinkedIn is amazeballs, I would say. It's not even amazing, it's amazeballs. We're talking like somebody like me who just came in. One of my posts went up to 8,000 and I baru je masuk masa tu. Yeah.
Okay.
8,000 and I think what it loves is, okay, macam ni lah. LinkedIn professional kan. So a lot of people when it's professional, they pun macam takut sikit nak create content, you know, drop water face. It's scary, right?
Okay.
So when you're real and you're authentic and you're just unapologetically you and you embrace that, people just take it. Yeah. So when you talk from your heart about somebody that inspired you, that hurts you, or you're vulnerable, wow, that really makes things.
That compels people to listen. Right?
Yeah,
Or
so
to
the
watch.
post that I shared was about me not fitting in any corporate. I was always the person who could not
Really?
fit in. And
Okay, so let's go. Let's
Okay,
jump
okay,
from
got
there,
it.
right?
Alright,
So who
okay.
is this me who cannot fit anywhere, right?
Well, I was a Petronas scholar, so
Okay.
I, you know, upon graduation, obviously.
So you're an
tak nak
engineer
bayar.
or what?
No,
What did you do?
I forgot what I studied. Economics and
Okay.
accounting.
Uh-huh.
So I went back and started working in the corporate planning. So we were doing business re-engineering.
Right.
And after a while, I think there was this unfulfilled thing within me. But I had to take it in
What's
a
corporate
long-
planning?
Corporate planning is when, you know, you're stuck with all these smart people who figure out what's the business plan for the future for Petronas, to put
Right.
it simply. So what I was doing is I spent like about 6 years in corporate planning, different departments.
Yeah.
So the first years, we were like the Boston Consulting Group. So we would go into the different subsidiaries and turn it around. So my job was basically to go in and look into the entire process and to kind of help make it more efficient and better. Kind of thing.
Sorry,
so
can
that
you
was
just
my
put the
first
mic
job.
slightly closer to you?
Oh, okay. So that was my first job.
Okay.
And then I went into country risk risk assessment because Petronas was going into all these countries overseas, like Africa and all these countries with high risk, like political and economic risk. So, you know, when you assess...
Somalia and all
Yeah,
that,
Somalia
right?
and all that. So when you assess, when you're growing in your own country, it doesn't affect the risk so much because you know the economic risk, you know the political risk. But when you go to another country, tiba-tiba, alamak, you might be dealing with some pirates in Somalia or something. So you got to add that in, and it increases the risk. So I was teaching people that, and I was traveling and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then I did this training that pretty much changed my life.
Right.
I don't know if you know Nash Idris.
No.
Sazi Falak's husband. So
Okay.
he was a chartered accountant in Petronas, and he enrolled me for the program.
Okay.
And it basically made me look at life differently. And
What was the training on?
it's called Asia Works, and I realized, oh my God, I'm not happy. I want to do something else. So maybe not so good if you're single. So I would highly recommend do it. I mean, if
Earlier.
you're gonna quit your job, make sure you're married or you have like super rich parents. That's what I would say, right? So I quit my job and I did unit trust. Can you believe
Okay.
it? But unit trust was amazing because if you want to start becoming like a leader, you got to duplicate yourself.
How did you jump from
I just-
quitting Petronas to doing unit trust?
Oh, just quit and do it.
Okay.
Yeah, and because I figured out, hey, I just did this training. You know, I'm top of the world. I'm bulletproof. You know, like that song Titanium by Sia. So you're like, oh, I'm top of the world. I can do this, and then kachundang. Yeah, but I basically learned about training. I became a trainer, and
Okay.
I've always been in love with training because you get to change and make a difference in people's lives.
Right.
It's just that finance was not the thing for me because I get
Okay,
bored
so-
really fast.
Okay, so you...
Yeah, so
but
can you
then do
imagine
unit trust.
economics and accounting, corporate planning, lepas tu sempat lagi I even managed to drive the F1. I was a marshal car driver for the F1.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was the first female one along with another lady.
Okay.
Yeah, because I
Okay,
drove.
stop. So how did that happen?
I was in the special projects of Petronas. And we were doing, we had engineers in Sauber in Switzerland.
Okay.
So
You're a bit of a car geek yourself, or
No, I just
know how
drive
to drive
fast.
lah? Okay.
yeah, I'm pretty good, and
Okay.
I drive a stick shift. You know, because we were brought up that way. The girls
Yeah.
all drive stick shift, and we had a meeting with Sapura, you know, over an engine thing. And my boss was like, Nina, the meeting is starting in 15 minutes. You better get us there safely. Got it. So I drove, and he was like that, you know, kind of thing. Probably taking care of his heart, and I got us there safely and in one piece and very fast. And he was like, "Wow, you can really handle the car." I was like, "Yeah," and I said, "Do you want to drive for the marshal?" I was like, "Okay."
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's what happened.
Wasn't
So-
that like a SLR or something, right?
No, I wish. But that
Oh.
SLR actually travels every time there's a race. So can you imagine how huge the production
Yeah.
of this race? Those 2 SLRs travel at every race. So it goes with them along with all the cars.
The whole entourage,
and,
the whole circus
So there's
goes with
only
that car.
2
Okay.
guys who drive. I don't know if it's still the same guy. Probably not, because they were pretty elderly. And it's the same guys lah.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Right, I thought you get to drive the SLR.
No,
but still,
I
much
was
to-
driving the I was driving the Proton fit in with a Petronas engine.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and because I was the newbie that year, so I opted to sit in the aircon at the center. So whenever the other drivers needed the bathroom, so I would go on the bike, and I've never driven a motorcycle. I would learn, you know, I'd go and then replace them, and then they go to the toilet and they'll come back. So that was my
cool.
job. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
anyway, so fast forward, but
Yeah.
what was it? Unit trust.
Unit trust. Well, because Nash enrolled me, so I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. You know, it's about sales. Yeah. So I went in, and I was doing very well, but it wasn't my passion, and I get bored pretty fast.
Okay.
Once I learn something, I want to move on. So, but what I loved about it was I got to become a trainer, and I learned how to train and to speak. So it actually made me better.
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
Oh.
So you were doing unit trust, and then what? Training other people to unit trust, or
It's,
you were
it's
selling
kind of
unit
like
trust?
MLM.
Okay.
In a way, so you get commission, and when you enroll people to become your downline, you also get an overriding
Is that how
over
it
them.
works?
Yes.
Unit trust. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And that's how
I
you
thought it was
sell.
just agents for banks, and then
No, but you can enroll people.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
jadi
yeah, the
gum.
network.
The
Okay.
network thing. I mean, it works in insurance as well. So it's kind of similar. So then, because I was working flexible hours, I was interviewed like this. They wanted to look for a host for a TV show. And I was like, okay, I'll be the guest because my friend was in Astro. And then...
Sorry, too fast. You just lost me there.
Okay, so I was doing...
you were doing the
I was doing
unit
unit
trust.
trust.
Okay,
So
and then you've got a couple of guys working.
Work hours are like
Right.
flexible, right?
Okay.
So a friend of mine was in Astro, and they're like,
okay.
and they're like,
Completely
hey, we're
separate.
looking for a new host, so we need like a fake guest. And I'm like, okay, but I want to be the host, you know? And she was like, it's okay, you just come as a guest, okay, fine. So everybody who came in, I was like, oh my God, I can speak better than you. Can you like do better?
But what was that about? What was the
It
interviews
was
about?
in person, and that's how I ended up hosting the show.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was for 2 seasons, and then that's how I got into acting and also hosting, TV hosting,
right.
as well as what else did I do? Oh, emceeing kind of thing.
Okay, I guess the whole thing,
It's
that kind of thing,
connected.
right? There's
Yeah.
the same kind of network of people, I guess.
Yeah.
doing
So
all
then
that.
after a while, I realized that I've always loved creative, which is that I never gave myself permission to do it because your parents say, no, just want that to do it. Don't focus on this. And also Malaysia, how far can you go, right? Kind of thing. But I decided at 29, okay, this is what I want to focus on. And then
And when you say that, like I'm at 29, that sounds late
it's
or
late.
early?
It didn't occur to me, and I wish I had that opportunity to start early. So, so I went into production. So I left my high-paying job. I think I was earning like about
This
5
was what,
figures.
when you were still at the.
No, it was the
Ministry.
wealth management thingy that
Okay,
I was
after,
doing.
yeah,
Yeah, to do with investments, and then I focused. So immediately my income was like 3,000, 5,000 macam tu.
It's almost like starting again, okay?
Yes, it was like starting
But
again.
what did you do?
So I was working in a production company, and we came out with. I was acting, depending on the series, but I was also producing because I love producing because you get to kind of use your brain to
But
sort
what type of
come up.
content are we talking about?
TV shows.
Okay.
TV films, and we also came out with a film that was only launched recently called Suatu Ketika.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tak tahu.
So it was a very good film. I mean, nobody saw it because the digital marketing sucked. I can tell you.
But anyway, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So you were at this production house.
Yes,
and then
I
you've
was
been-
doing
okay,
that,
and
and then
producing stuff
income.
too.
It depended on whether the company was making money or not. So then I was like, okay, forget it. I cannot do this anymore. I need to go back to corporate because I wasn't making money. And
So just go back to that, right? So how
Uh-huh.
does the production work as a company? Right? How is the business model? You pitch for jobs, or do you just come up with
basically
stuff
your
and you try to
life was
sell it?
dependent on studios. So we're talking the big studios would be TV3,
Okay.
Astro, and there was something wrong. I mean, okay, this is I did not know it at the time. There was something seriously wrong with the system in the sense that, and this is how traditional media worked.
Okay.
There are gatekeepers at these studios who will sit there and go like, oh, okay, this proposal is good. We'll think about it. So
Right.
you've got all these production companies submitting all these proposals,
I
and then
see.
they act kind of like gods, I guess.
Right. So
and
they are like your viewers, lah.
no,
they
they're-
represent your viewers, kind of
they
way.
represent your viewers, but
Yeah.
deep in
But,
my heart, I kind of knew, you know what?
You know
You don't know
nothing.
your stuff. And
Yeah.
then these people, and even the directors, I would say, oh, the Malaysian audience are so stupid. They don't know. And then when the audience start support their film, they pun marah. I mean, this is sama. Studio sama, director pun sama. Sebab semua shot sendiri.
Right.
And I'm like, no, you're not. Malaysians will help support you. But please give a good content.
Yeah.
It's just that when I go and watch a Malay film, I'm like cringing, you know? So, but yeah.
Okay, so the model is because it's not
Yeah.
my area at all, right? So no
Okay.
idea. So you got the big studios, as you say, who
This is the
own the
old-
channels, right?
Yeah, who own the channel. So,
So-
you have to pitch, and then macam dengan TV3 lagi susah. Am I gonna die after
Yeah,
this?
probably,
But
but
yeah,
it's okay.
but it's okay. Yeah, okay, I'll deal with it.
It's
so,
not just that. But
okay, you submit, and then once you submit, ini okay. First of all,
Okay.
satu drama satu telemovie agak-agak berapa?
I don't know,
The cost to produce.
100,000, 2 million.
Okay,
is it-
one telemovie is 100,000.
Okay.
Your cost to produce.
Hey, I got it right.
Yeah, your cost to produce a good one is probably you have to make it 80,000. How much do you think?
But hang on, Sorry. Rewind. What did you ask me? How much does it?
How much does it cost? How much do TV stations pay for telemovie?
A
Agak-agak.
telemovie is a what? A 1
One
hour show?
movie, 90 minutes.
Or
let's
90
say.
minute show.
Yeah,
Okay, so that is with your actors, your
Everything.
location, bakaliau lah semua.
pakai lah
And I
semua.
just say 100,000 just to do 1.5 hours. That sounds a bit cheap, actually.
Exactly, and
Kan?
guess what? The rate has not changed for like what 10
100,000.
years.
Okay lah. Now I can just use my phone to do all this. But if you want real talent,
Exactly,
and if you want all
exactly.
that, right?
So that's why 80,000 tu kira dah macam. Okay, let's say you make 20,000. How long can you last? Because you don't know when you're going to pitch the next one,
Yeah.
unless
how
you
big
have.
how big are production houses?
Okay,
normally?
production houses work where you have the main core team, and
Okay.
then you pitch. When you confirm the project, that's when you start activating your team. So those are temporary. So you've got your main production houses with all this, for 3 people.
Okay.
Really lean, and then once the production happens, that's when you start hiring your writers, your directors, your DOPs, and your
Where does
whatnot.
the idea of the story come from?
Depends. It could come from a writer who then works with a production studio.
Ah,
Or
okay,
what we
okay.
did was, I was like, look, we cannot, this sales is a number game. Nasib baik lah I belajar dekat unit trust. So all these things, it didn't occur
It
to me.
comes back to
I
you-
thought it
comes
was
back
an
to you, yeah,
accident macam apa, main pinball kan, deng. Rupanya ada dia punya ching, I mean,
Okay.
there was a fit there. There was a jigsaw puzzle being made without me realizing it.
Right.
So I was like, okay, this is sales. It's a number game. So for us to get more projects, we got to pitch. So we got to have an idea.
When you say pitch to the studios.
Pitch to the studios,
Okay.
pitch to anybody. So we wanted to. So we decided, okay, let's have a bank of ideas, and then we're gonna pitch. So that's how production houses work. You have a
Okay,
bank of ideas, and it depends on whether you want it to make film or series or whatever.
Okay.
Um,
And that's where you just kind of roughly high level storyboard of what this
yes,
is about lah.
yeah.
And
So
then the production house
everything
will be
I
like,
learned was like YouTube. Google.
Understand.
Nasib baik resourceful juga lah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
kind of thing. So then you pitch, and we had like about 20 titles. We never got even one film. They were pretty good.
Sorry, when you say, what do you mean? You
We
got
had like
20
about
titles.
20 films that we could pitch to.
Okay.
Not
and-
one
and
of them got. They liked one, but they said it was a TV film.
Okay.
Suatu Ketika, the film that we did, my name is right at the front. normally people who produce it would have a name. I'm just a line producer. I'm not like one of the big ones. So my name was right at the
Sorry,
front.
what's the producer and what's the line producer?
Okay, so the producer.
Sorry lah,
No, it's
this is-
okay.
jakun sikit.
You see, even when I first came in, because I was hired to act, and they're like, "Hey, behind the scene, I did that because I'm an overachiever. I can do a lot of things. I multitask. If I don't satisfy my brain, I'm gonna go bored. Okay, so they're like, "Oh yeah, we have a space for line producer. Okay, what does the line producer do? You just do lah. Okay lah. So I put like buat, just do whatever I thought would help production. It turned out I was doing line producing.
That's line producer. Okay.
Yeah, so I was producing. So the producer, okay, it's kind of like a CEO and a COO. So the CEO has the vision, but not necessarily a person who can make it happen. So that is your director.
Yes.
Okay, so the producer is the one who makes it happen. So they're the COO.
Right.
So the producer, when you have a good combination of a producer and a director, the producer has to bring the director down to berpijak di bumi yang nyata, because they will want like, oh, I want the scene where you crash through the building.
Oh, it's not the other way. I thought the director is the one with all that.
Yeah, but he's the creative guy. He's the visionary.
The director, right?
If he could, he would have, okay, this scene, I'm having like green screen and I want like 100,000 people.
So the producer will bring in the money and then...
there's different sort of
and all that,
producers,
okay.
and the terms are kind of confused between American and Malaysia, the executive producer. But there's one type of producer who gets the money, kerja dia dapat duit je. Okay, and the other producer is the one that makes it happen. So he's the one from nothing makes sure it happens.
So Steven Spielberg
He is a director who became a producer. So when they say executive
no wonder I'm so
producer,
confused. Like, he's kind of both.
yeah. So when you say executive producer, that means they just make the money. They just get the money.
Okay.
They don't do much, maybe advice.
So
and
during
stuff
ET,
like that.
he was a director lah.
Yes.
Right? Then later on as, I don't know,
in a lot of films,
Project Ryan kind of thing.
he probably, kalau you bagi duit pun, you're an executive producer.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's really
Let's go back
interesting,
to-
right? That
to
sort
you.
of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway,
then you were
I didn't make money.
doing this.
I didn't make money. And
in this
then
production house.
one of
How
my...
long were you doing this production thing for?
Oh, at least about 3 years. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you gave it a good go.
I give a very good go. I would say 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
Okay. And then I kind of got screwed. Another director offered me a job. And then he was best friends with the old production studio. And then he kind of he's a very famous director in Malaysia, but I'm not going to say who. But I was upset. I was really upset. But it had to happen that way. Remember, it was the jigsaw puzzle being built, kind of thing. So he was going to offer me a job. And then suddenly he ditched me. So I had left the old production house because he was scared. He was friends with my director in my production. So dia takut
Or to take you.
to take me. Padahal dia dah offer. And then I dah siap quit. And then I tengok,
ooh.
so I didn't have a job.
Shit.
So I was like, okay lah, dia malah lepak. And my friends were like, Nina, you're so good. What is happening with you? And then my friend who was doing art. Okay, I'll explain to
As
you
in
what art
painting,
is.
music.
No, art. They are the art director.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know what you call them. Oh my God, I forgot. But the person, the one who handles, in a scene, like if we have a scene where we're doing this podcasting episode, of course there's the actors. Nak bawa semua benda ni to get all these items to put it here to get the location. Location somebody else. Sorry. The props and all these things. The glasses has to be there. And if it's like a time period like 1970s, you got to make sure that everything is 1970s.
All the prop and all that lah.
Yes, so that's the art director.
Oh, that's art. Oh,
yeah, that's
okay.
art. And they're a director because they have that vision of what ends up on the screen.
So he needs to understand what the director wants lah.
Exactly. And then they also have to do a study, especially if it's a historical piece. Because certain things do not come into existence yet. So all this is... So my art director friend asked me to come in and help her. And I'm like, art direction? Are you for real?
And this is obviously a different
in a
company.
film. It's called... What was that film?
Oh, this is in a project per se.
Yeah. Interchange. Day Insight's film. And I was like, oh my God, I so want to work with Day Insight, But I'm like, are you sure you want me to do art? Because I have never done art. I produce. I arah orang lagi lah dia. Hello, can you do this? Kind of thing. So she's like, no, Nina, I need someone who can break down the scenes. Can you imagine every single scene, according to the script, you got to put down we call it the hero object. So let's say that like for Bond movies, it's usually his Rolex watch, right? So you got to make sure that scene at that
highlights
scene,
that lah.
barang tu semua ada, dah siap and ready to go, kind of thing. So that was my job to kind of list it down. And then because you need a lot of time to prepare for all these things, so a lot of people think that the main work happens during the shoot. wrong. I would say 60 to 80% of the work happens in pre-production during the planning. If you plan everything well, masa shoot tu you execute je, you macam
Right.
put the pieces on the
Yeah.
board, kind of thing. But when you fail to plan, you're basically planning to fail. I'm sure you guys have that term at work
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, I guess.
So a lot of people don't.
This is no langgalah moment.
Oh,
huh?
no. You have no time to langa. It's like do or
Yeah.
die. So because the production was not planned very well, and especially when you have a shoot where it's back to back and it's heavy scene, heavy prop, your team basically mati lah. So my art team semua tak sempat nak figure, and I was like, oh my god, the scene is coming up. You
Okay.
need the book. You need this. What does the book look like? So I was like panicking. In the end, I was like, fuck it. Sorry, I'm gonna do the book myself.
Huh.
So then after the movie, only I realized that I accidentally became an art director in certain scenes.
Right.
And a prop master, whatever you call it, because I was responsible
all
for
that,
having the book there, kind of thing. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's what I did, and the art team is usually if there was like a hierarchy in terms of structure, they would be like the cacing kat tanah. They're like
The lowest of the low.
They're not even the worms. They're like the food for the worms, kind of thing. Yeah. So that's what happened, and we were, oh my god.
So in that industry, okay.
Okay, just to let you know, it was such a difficult film. We were treated like shit because we were the scum of the earth and the
Right.
food for the worm. Everybody, there was a bit of a bullying there. So the kind of thing. So we really, and my art director panas baran. So he's like, oh my god, I'm gonna walk out. So I was like, no, whatever you do, we will finish this. And then ada Mak Saleh speaking perempuan yang dengan accent lebih-lebih say, no, we will freaking finish this if it's the last thing we do. Because his previous film, his art people like walked out on him 3 times.
Oh, man.
So we were like, I don't give a shit what we do, but we are gonna stay and finish this because you are gonna get an award. I was literally speaking like that. Sampai kata-kata. This woman, there was a scene where because this character was supposed to dip in a pool, macam like a pond or a little tasik with flowers and birds. She built it out of nothing. Can you believe that? This woman is amazing, and she helps save costs.
Right.
So if your budget macam 300, you nak film 10 million, tapi budget you 3 million. So
kenalah DIY.
so we knew how to save money, we knew how to save this, but when you have somebody in the team who kind of spends budget and we're like, what? So that was the kind of things we were working
So
with.
in a smaller scale, back to the TV shows, right? You got to do all that for 80 grand on
Yeah.
the smaller scale lah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's
That's quite
crazy.
dahsyat,
And they don't pay you, they pay you as like percentage and kind of thing. And then guess what? Nobody asks the audience what they want to watch.
That sounds like a lot of other industries too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
back
my
to the
friends were,
customers,
and then one day, and then I went, that's how it happened lah. And then I went to see my uncle, who's an HR recruiter. So he said, Nina, there's an interview at Cyberview, why don't you go? But
Okay.
honestly, I look at your CV, you've done this. I really don't know where to place you. And these are what the corporates are saying. I don't know what to do with her.
Yeah.
Termizi, I don't know what to do
So
with
this
her.
is after the movie
Yeah,
lah.
because that was the straw. I was like,
Right.
oh my god, I was treated like food for worm. This industry is not for me. I quit. So I actually looked up to the sky and told God, like, you know what? If I quit, I'm going back to corporate. I don't ever want to do art again. And then
What year was this?
This was 2015.
Okay. Not too long ago.
Not too long ago. And then I went for the interview at Cyberview. And then on the way back, and they weren't that open, I think. So again, I don't fit in. I'm like a rebel, right? I think out of the box. You can't wear this, to work. So then as I was driving back, I passed by MDEC. And I had applied for our application at MDEC before. And I knew there was a lady there. And I was like complaining, kind of thing. I was like, oh, kalau kerja kat MDEC pun bagus. At least, it's something that I would probably have fun in. And I was like, oh, let's call Michelle. So I called her and she's like, actually, I am looking for somebody. It's a senior exec job. I said, manager don't have. Okay lah. So okay lah, naik gaji sikit dalam 5,000. I mean, still it was pretty pathetic because I was already old at that time. But my parents were like super stressed. Oh my God, she's got a job. It's okay.
Yeah, it's
So
good enough,
it's so cute. It was just exactly, it reminded me of going to work for the first day in Petronas, and aunties were like, okay, do you need suits and stuff? They were so excited,
Yeah.
you know, kind of thing. So that's what happened. And then in
Wave you
MDEC,
off in the morning. Oh, good luck, all the best,
good
you know.
luck, you know,
Have
kind
your
of thing. Oh,
coffee.
you need a new car, you know, those sort of thing, you know. I mean, it was like a copy and paste situation, you know, kind of thing. And that was MDEC, and that's how I ended up working with Hasno. We were doing, I was taking care of
the
animation
creative sides,
companies, who you're going to interview
I
in a
tell
bit.
you, yeah. So our path must have crossed somewhere
definitely,
in
yeah.
MDEC or in.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
Yeah, so I was
then
taking
you're
care
in
of
Hasna.
animation companies, which was amazing because it got me to the other side.
Oh, which reminds me, I don't think
of
I've
the
confirmed with
business.
Hasna yet. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Got a
okay.
date somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, so then you were dealing with the creatives because you were with that background. So obviously
Yes.
that's a
And then-
natural
and then,
fit, right?
And then I
Ah.
went out, I was like, I said I wanted to quit. What are you trying to do? Balik-balik masuk, balik
Yeah.
creative. So I was like, okay lah.
So, but what was MDEC trying to do with all the creatives?
Okay, MDEC takes care of digital, right? Malaysia digital economy. So they champion Malaysia's
Phew, we finally
digital.
get to some technology in this podcast.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm just kidding. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
exactly. It was
Okay, so then, so what?
so it gave so that was the traditional industry, and by
Yeah.
the time I came into MDEC, we were taking care of animation companies, digital, right? And oh my God, the Malaysian animation scene is so vibrant. It's so positive, and it really, and the word kita jaga kita comes from there. You'll
But I
have
think it was
these
like
Bobo Boy.
so what the word? It's like so hidden. Right? It's like a big
A
secret,
lot of
right?
people,
Nobody
it's
knows.
not a
right?
secret. People do not know. It's not spoken of. Do you know that Bobo Boy, their viewers, 10% or 20% are from Russia. They speak Russian.
I have
I accidentally tolong lah in
a friend
in
of
my
mine,
3 months.
a friend
in
of mine
MDEC.
who I'll interview in a couple of weeks. So he's got like 300 animators.
Wow.
Doesn't sell any in Malaysia. It's all Hollywood.
Yes.
You know, I was like, whoa, you do
What's
what?
your friend?
Tak
Is
boleh
it-
cerita lagi.
Oh,
Itu secret.
okay. Is it coming out in another episode? I
Yeah,
can
it will.
look
It will. It will.
Okay.
It will.
Is he Chinese?
Yes.
I think I know him.
Okay,
Check
you do
it out,
lah.
yeah.
Chinju.
Shinju. Oh,
Ada partner. So anyway, so he was
yeah.
like, I was like, you, and he said, yeah, it's all US dollars, bro. I was
That's
like,
just one.
"Shit."
There's
Sorry?
another one. There's a few.
Oh, there's a few. See,
Yeah,
nah,
okay,
this is
you
my
want to
friend.
know why? Because Malaysians are very talented and we speak English satu. So communication senang daripada you nak hire dekat kat Vietnam or Thailand kind of thing. And we're very good value for money. You could hire people from India. They're
Yeah.
cheaper, but the quality not so nice.
Which is good.
Yeah, some of the
creative too.
animation can be scary. if it's
So
not
you're
good.
dealing with more of these guys like when you're MDEC. Okay.
So we would take care of all these animation companies and help them make money. In the sense that business development, which was right up my alley because I'm in sales, right?
Right.
So that's how
How to get more market.
had to get more market.
and-
So within the
and things
first
like
year, I had to understand the companies. I had to know who was doing what. Pula tu ada 2D, 3D. What's the difference? And then to understand the buyers and help connect them. So that was my job with animation. Yeah,
How successful were you? You think
pretty
with helping out?
pretty good in the
Yeah.
sense that okay. The funny thing was because I love seeing how I impact businesses.
Sorry,
or
the
people.
question wasn't you, but it was more MDEC lah. So how?
Oh my God,
successful was
MDEC is definitely instrumental.
Mm.
And the people at MDEC are so genuine. They really want to help and they really help like every stage of the process. So Hassan will also share this with you. So we have this thing which used to be called the Intellectual Property Contest Challenge, Creator Challenge. So people would submit, So for an industry to thrive, you need these kind of things to happen. You need to have the platform for it. So people would submit ideas, and then it's like a Shark Tank. So then they came and present, and then the
Right.
judges are like Bobo Boy, Any Monster people,
Right.
the successful companies, and they will advise them and mentor, and also the studio.
Not to take up the projects, but for these guys,
No,
what
to coach them and mentor them.
Okay,
And the guy who was formerly from Rhythm and Hues, which is now Tau Films lah. So
Okay, tak tahu.
so that's Mandeep. He's actually from India, but he's stayed here so long. He's starting to speak like a Malaysian. kind of
La
thing.
and all that.
Yeah,
already.
yeah, la.
Okay, okay.
Cannot. That sort of thing. lah.
Okay.
And so you kind of coach. So when they go through this program, they kind of know and they get to work with studios and whatnot. So at least that shot sendiri,
Yeah.
and then they get better. They know how to pitch. And then there's another competition that happens in Australia and different places. So people would submit, and people like Disney and all that will come.
Yeah.
And then they will hear, and so the journey it might start here, but maybe 5 years down the road
Yeah.
when somebody buys. So all these are put in place by MDEC, and it's amazing. They've been doing that. Not just that, they would also go overseas to all these different markets to help sell.
Yeah.
So we're talking market dekat Cairns, and then there's also the licensing. So one of the things when I came in was they wanted people to understand what licensing was about. So I went in and they trained me so that I could train more companies and stuff
Okay.
like that. So I would do my own deck to educate people
Right.
because I got tired because I didn't know where the information was. So I came up
you
with
do yourself.
kind of
Yeah,
thing lah. So I'll give you an example. Like licensing, you kind of knew, you just didn't know it was an industry by itself, and it's $1 billion worth. Disney's main business is actually licensing and merchandising.
Okay.
So
Merchandising, easy to understand. Licensing means?
summer. It's basically like a rental. So when you come up with an IP or an intellectual property or a brand, the brand might be so successful, like Etika could be a very successful brand, that somebody who produces goods might want to rent that brand, slap it on their products,
Okay.
and sell it. So Coke is a very famous brand. I'll give you another example. Jack Daniels.
Okay.
The alcohol, was it gin or rum? I can't remember. So Jack Daniels wanted to expand into a non-alcohol market. So they tied up with this jam business called Baxter's, like a makcik
Okay.
brand, and they came up with this kick-ass, super cool barbecue sauce called Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce. So if you look at the bottle, you think it's a
okay.
Jack Daniel thing.
Yeah,
And then there's
yeah.
one tiny line in the back produced by Baxter's, but that Baxter's brand tak ada pun, is not even there.
Actually, you see a lot of that in the supermarkets, right? So
Exactly.
sometimes it makes me wonder, hang on a minute, is that company has branched out in this now? Or
No,
do they have
so
more
it's
products?
actually
It's
licensing. And it's the same in the US, where J-Lo has her own perfume. Jessica Simpson has her own line of shoes.
Okay.
So she works with a manufacturer to come up with their own line.
Right.
And daripada jenama X, you've got Jessica.
So
Simpson.
in that model, right?
Yes.
So if you have the brand,
Yes.
you don't have obviously the manufacturing and the
You don't
the
need
channels
to.
and all that.
What you do is you find them.
So you're actually licensing your name, your brand
Yes.
to those guys.
Yes.
So like the Kardashians and all that. Is
Yes.
that's what people
Probably,
do?
yeah. But of course, you get to work with them.
Huh.
Work
Oh,
with
what's
them.
her name?
And
The
you
one
get a
who-
percentage of everything that's sold, kind of thing. So we were educating because Malaysian IPs were coming up. They were becoming more famous, especially coming up in Indonesia and what. It was a very good viable stream of income that you need to look into. And Disney, believe it or not, they've gotten so good that's why they could pay Star Wars just like that, like God knows how many millions.
So like Disney has
Marvel.
Frozen.
Oh yeah.
So Frozen, they license Frozen, the
Frozen.
brand out to
Yes, so
kids'
there
clothes
are
and things like
companies
that
in
lah.
Malaysia that they license the Frozen brand to.
Huh.
You can make soaps, everything. So you could have millions of.
So that obviously that's the legal way lah.
Yes. Yes. So cetak rompak is one of the hard ways that we have to deal
Yeah.
with lah.
Okay.
That's
But
what-
otherwise, that's how you make your money, eh?
that's how you make your money, and
Once you,
people
it's
go
almost
into
like
licensing.
residual. In fact, your
Yes.
residual income is probably more than the
Actually,
movie itself, right?
personal-
Whatever. yeah.
Exactly, which is why Disney was willing to pay Star Wars that much of money, as well as Marvel.
Yeah.
They own like
Correct.
50% of the licensing market.
So
It's
the show,
crazy.
okay, like $1 billion, right? For
The
whatever.
show,
huh?
if you ask me, is an extended commercial.
The other way, okay?
And which is why if you start looking at trends of films, there's a lot of franchise coming up. Why? Because marketing cost is less. You know
Franchise
what I mean?
meaning,
Okay,
this is
franchise like
part 1, part 2,
yeah,
part 3.
part one,
kind of-
part
okay,
two, part three. So it makes sense for Star Wars. It makes sense for like Marvel because. And do you know that when you come out with a toy, that die or whatever the achu
Okay.
can be hundreds and 200,000 worth USD just for
For
that.
one, yeah.
Yeah. So if before the product comes out first, when there's a demand, then you start talking to a toy manufacturer. Now we've come. It starts early. Even as you're launching, you're already talking to people. Somebody like Disney can command that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What
Which
was
was
that, the
why
recent one, that
when
Baby Yoda?
Iron Man, Baby Yoda, so cute, yeah. And even in Japan, they have like all these baby versions of all the Disney characters.
Oh, they-
Yeah.
I guess the Japan market's a little bit more.
Well, they're like
unique,
the
right?
most advanced in terms of licensing. Every
Oh, I
state
see.
has
Huh.
their own mascot, and they make money from the mascot kind of thing. There was a couple of animals who were like dying of hunger somewhere in Japan, so they decided to make a mascot out of it, and they started selling products. The money was helping
support that.
to
Wow.
support. So it's amazing.
That's a good thing.
Exactly, and there's no such thing as piracy or copyright piracy issue dekat Japan. And you know the Gudetama? Like, I'm obsessed with it.
No.
Gudetama. It's an egg and it's a lazy egg. So they make toys out of it.
Tamagotchi and all that.
Oh,
But
Tamagotchi, yeah.
oh, this is like a new version.
Like, you know, Pokemon, the toy?
Uh-huh.
Apparently, there was a game which was done earlier, but nobody picked it up.
Okay.
Okay, and then the creator of the game decided to put Pokemon on it, so licensing, and that's
then
when
it
it
blew
blew
up.
up. Yeah.
Ah.
So that's the impact that you get,
Wow.
kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
Amazing, right?
Okay, so MDAC. So that was MDAC.
So that was MDAC. And
Okay.
then towards the end, I started working. Oh, I was also very lucky when I was in Vegas for the licensing show.
Huh.
It happened.
That must have been amazing though.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Give me 10 minutes of the Vegas licensing show. What was that about?
Okay, so licensing show is where you go in and you get to meet all these brand owners.
Huh.
So I got to see Grumpy Cat.
Wow, the cat itself.
The cat itself, it was there.
Before it died lah,
Exactly,
obviously.
before it died.
I
Ghostbusters
wouldn't be
were
surprised
there.
if they stuffed
yeah.
it. They still sold it somehow.
Yeah, and then you get to learn what is out there for licensing. Even the most ridiculous things can be licensed. You know,
And I'm assuming something like the Vegas licensing show would have been the pinnacle of that industry, lah, right?
Yes, that's like the
this is
biggest show
it,
like
right?
ever. Yeah, biggest show like ever. So when I was there, I think it was the first time we went good. So my job was to cherry location. Invite the companies, ask them who wanted to go. Okay, let's go do this, and then help them.
So
that
this
kind of
was
thing.
where MDAC would bring Malaysian companies.
Yes, to go to all these markets.
Okay.
So we would go to Hong
Sorry,
Kong.
we are licensor or licensee in that model?
Oh my goodness.
Are we trying to license something
We are the licensor.
Okay.
We are looking for people
to take our brand and then go and
So one
distribute?
example is, you know, Kuku Harajuku.
I
Gwen
should know.
Stefani's toy.
Okay,
Gwen
yeah,
Stefani's,
the
is actually
gang,
made by
right?
a local company.
Yes, Hasno told me about that.
Yes,
before.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so they want so obviously
Okay.
the licensing product for it would be dolls.
Yes.
'Cause
So
it's-
so you guys went to go look for partners, I feel like, right? Or
We would bring the companies would have meetings. So our job was we helped save costs lah.
Huh.
So of course they had to pay for flight and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we try and negotiate deals with the show provider to see what's the best, and then they would get a certain place. So it's like an umbrella. Everybody goes under there.
wow.
And the countries who would do this is like would be Thailand, but mostly Malaysia. They knew because they knew Malaysian government was very supportive, which is MDAC. And Korea memang supportive, lots of money, so they will get like a huge kind of
And
booth
tourist
kind of
there.
thing. Yeah. So
Wow.
my job was to look at the booth design, see okay, save costs, you know, kind of thing, because you want to pass it back to the companies, right?
Yeah.
And it also depends on the IP of the animation, whether it was American based or whether it was, you know, in Asia, kind of thing.
Okay. So these guys out and I'm still fixated with the Vegas thing. So the likes of Disney's and all
Disney's
that would
will
be there,
every
and
year.
they would be
Yeah.
putting
Even
out the
okay,
stuff,
do you know
lah.
that Pan Am, the airlines,
Yeah.
has licensing? So the girls at the booth be wearing macam, you know, the Pan Am bags and
stewardess
stuff like
and
that.
all
Yeah,
that lah,
they
huh?
would do clothes and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's amazing. But my and I would go for the conference and the talk because that was amazing. Or you go there for the meetings. Yeah, so you want to partner up. You want to, you know, tag team with your team.
But I guess from a celebrity standpoint, this is more the not back office like. This is the production.
The back end, yeah.
and the back end
celebrities
guys.
won't be there.
Yeah.
But I did get to meet one of the girls from House, the House show, where they
the
convert
Doctor-
the house.
no, which house show is
Oh,
this?
no,
Not Doctor House.
Not Dr. House. The home renovation one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Ah,
the
I see,
host
yeah.
was Nisi, but she was one of the ones who was helping with the DIY.
Okay,
Yeah,
alright.
so I had a photo with her. I have her WhatsApp number. Can you believe that?
cool.
Yeah, she texts her. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So one
Alright.
year it coincided with VidCon. It was like back to back.
And VidCon is?
VidCon is video conference.
Okay.
That was the social media scene.
Whoa.
Whoa, exactly. So
I
when
just
we
didn't even know there was such a thing.
Exactly.
So all the
So-
influencers and all that were there lah.
Exactly.
Wow.
So this was, I
Huh.
think, 2017. I think, yeah. So
Okay.
we decided, my boss, lah, Tara Michelle, we would go to VidCon. No, we would go to Vegas, and then we'd fly to
Where's VidCon?
VidCon was in Anaheim. near
Okay,
Disney.
okay.
So we'd fly to Los Angeles and then stay there. And because we were completely clueless about digital at that point,
Yeah.
we didn't know, but we knew that it was important. So we needed to study so that we can help the companies. So we went. So blur sotong nak mampus. When I came back, my co-founder, Amin, and he's like, oh my God, you were there. You were with so-and-so. We saw it on YouTube. Why didn't you say hi? And I'm like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? You know?
Yeah.
I only got to take a photo with this dog who had way more followers than me, like 200,000. He's like a husky with pink ears.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of thing. So
Not quite the grumpy cat lah, but still not bad.
kind of thing. So
Okay.
so they would have these
Wow.
talks, and because I was clueless, like I would sit there. They would have the keynote by YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki, I cannot pronounce the name, and I'll be like, "What is this? I don't understand." It was such an exciting thing because I was learning so much things, and they have like fireside chat, 20 minutes, 20 minutes.
So this was about 3 years ago,
2017, yes.
right? Now so this industry, right, the social media industry
Yes.
must be fairly new, right? Even then, what, maybe 5 years old at most?
Possibly.
Kan?
Yeah, possibly.
It must have. It has really obviously blown up in the last 3-4
Yes.
years.
So I was very lucky because I would sit there and I would write sampai tangan dah tak boleh tulis dah ni, you know. So I would write notes, and it didn't make sense at that point. Again, life is like a
How do
jigsaw
you
puzzle.
make money out of just influencing all that?
Exactly.
Right? What?
I still
Right,
didn't know what was going on, so I would just write notes, and then when you go back, they email you all these decks. And people go,
that
you
one
know,
who
kind of thing.
presented, yeah.
So when I put all my notes together, I came out with a chart, and then I was like, oh my God, this is what's happening. So I went to my boss, who's a game expert, Mohan Low.
Okay.
Who
He's still at
look-
MDEC lah.
He's still an MDAC, and he looks like Hasnul's twin. I swear to God, they look alike, you know, kind of
Okay.
thing. The specs and the size cute, macam tu kan, color macam sama. Okay, so I was like, oh my God, this is it. And then he looked at it and said, hey, this is exactly like game industry. I was like, whoa, you know, kind of thing. So then I was like, okay lah. And then I brought.
How is it similar to game industry?
Like there's a publisher and whatnot. So
I
what's
see.
happening is that you've got all these influencers, and then you've got these influencer agencies, or we call them multi-channel networks.
Okay.
At that time, they
The
were
pimps lah.
MCN. The pimps. You know, so I thought that, ooh, this is how I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a pimp. You know, sebab I memang bagus jual orang bukan, chief pimp officer. So
There
I
you
thought, okay,
go.
I'm gonna be an MCN. But the industry moves so fast that now you cannot rely. At that time, people were relying on YouTube.
Yeah.
Facebook was not monetizing at that point.
Right.
They announced that they were going to monetize, but it took them like a whole year of beta testing before they start monetizing. Now they are lah, but only to certain people.
And when
with
you say
high views.
monetize, what does that mean?
Like with YouTube, creators can make money from content.
Hmm.
Yeah. So like if I
You
have
register and then you.
yeah, so immediately you can
So if
start
they
making
put
money,
adverts
but
and all
how
that
much
into
you
it lah.
make is a different story
Yeah,
lah.
yeah.
So some of so we thought, wow, we naturally think, wow, you want to put on YouTube, you get a lot of views and you'll make a lot of money. Wrong, kind of thing. So only when I came back did I realize how hard it was, kind of thing. But it was good because I could understand what was happening.
So
What
share a
kind-
little bit about that.
Okay.
How does it work? So everybody's talking about the what's that Indian lady, Indian girl and the husband.
Sugu,
Sugu, I think, right?
Pavitra.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. So
okay.
everybody's talking about them now, right?
Yes.
Oh, is blown up, and oh, they should be making tons of money out of it. So now tell us tell me
So
how does it
here's
actually
the
work?
thing: when I started speaking to our companies back home in Malaysia, and also our content creators, our influencers, the thing at that time, adverts in the US is more expensive because people would bid and click. So you have to pay more for ads. So naturally, your clicks per CPM ke, tak apa they call it, is higher.
So that's how you make. That's how they charge back to the companies with the adverts, lah, right?
Yes, correct.
Based on clicks
so
and
basically,
views. Yeah.
companies, businesses would come in and advertise,
Yep.
and then content creators would create content. So it's an ecosystem. Content creators would create content, and then what we would go and watch. But then to watch for free, you watch ads lah.
Yeah. Or
So,
skip after 5
yes,
seconds.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, after 5 seconds. So the content creators would make money from the ads.
Okay.
Okay. So revenue sharing, if you think about it, right? So
Does the content creator get to choose the kind of adverts that come out on the channel?
that
How does it
one,
work?
I do not think so unless they have a partnership.
Okay.
That's another form of marketing which we call influencer marketing.
Okay.
Okay. So with digital marketing, it's now evolved. You know, when internet first started, it was, you know, you have all these bloggers, writers, and then you know, it was search engine, so you could pay money to appear in the search engine, that sort of
Right.
thing, and then Google Ads kind of thing, and then with YouTube, there's still Google Ads where you pay Google to have your adverts there, or with video coming up, content creators then became their own TV channel, which goes back to the whole
The
studio
first one,
traditional thing,
Right.
because they bypassed these middle people who were the gatekeepers. These content creators would make content and they would go directly to the
To the
consumers.
viewers, yeah.
So
Okay.
and when I was there, I was like, fuck, this is so gonna hit the traditional business. They have no idea what's hitting them. It's gonna be a whole Nokia thing. So
But the winner is the platform, lah, right? So in this case, like YouTube.
winner
and
is the
then-
platform
right?
and the content creator. But ultimately the platform. I will share with you why in a bit. So these content creators dah ibarat TV channel because they would have all these people following them and whatnot. And people would follow them, you know why? Because they feel that they are actually more powerful than Hollywood celebrities. Even Hollywood celebrities do not have that kind of influence, and that's why they are called influencers, because people watching them feels like they're your friend, because they talk directly to you, they talk about you, they share their pain, they come out that they're gay, they have this struggle, they're going through depression, so they're real, they're authentic. So you actually feel that like they are your friend, and you want to support your friend.
And I think it's moving away from influencers even now, right?
Yes,
Because
so
influencers before
it has
seems to
become
be
fake
right.
already
It's
now.
been, exactly right, because you know
yeah.
the influencers doing it because of the.
So when you see
it's always
Instagram,
reviews and
there's
stuff,
always
right?
that abang sador or
correct,
like
right?
some hot girl.
So I think
in
everybody's kind of
hijab
fed up with
or-
that now.
Yeah, kind of
and
fed
they
up with
just
it.
want the real people.
Yeah,
who-
because
who
everybody
speak on it,
tiba-tiba lawa je. Macam kat
Ha,
Instagram,
correct.
lawa je. Wow, I'm an Instagram influencer.
Where you got the beauty mode. Kan you tekan saja
Yeah,
suddenly
yeah,
putih and
yeah,
gebu
yeah.
and it's like,
But they're all fake, you know, at the
exactly.
end of the day. Yeah.
And again, you cannot cheat the listeners and the viewers, right? They will,
Yes,
they
you
will-
can't. So we come from the generation, I mean, me and my co-founders came from that generation that watch all these content creators, and we would be crying with them, we'd be supporting them, and we would be like, there's so many different kinds of content creators. Like, for example, when I ask you what a content creator is, normally, just now, you'd think that it's an abang soda, it's a hot girl, either a hijabista now, or
Okay,
like a
don't
hot
know.
girl in a bikini, you know.
Right.
In Malaysia, she's a hijabista doing makeup, you know, that sort of thing.
Okay lah, so it goes to show where I go in my Instagram, right? These
No, it's
these
okay.
ones don't pop up.
But if you ask us PopCon, I will show you Jenny Doan, who is a grandmother. I think she's 62 years old. She's got 22 grandkids and she's got 7 kids, and she is an influencer.
Wow.
She is described by Forbes as the Disneyland of quilting because every weekend by the busloads, let's not count the lockdown, by busloads people would go to belajar knitting from her.
Where is this?
In a small town in America. The town
What's her name?
has
Jenny what?
Jenny Doan, Doan. You can Google her, or you can go to my LinkedIn. I posted about her. And this town is 1,500 people, and she hires 400 out of the 1,500.
It's her town. lah,
Yeah,
basically.
it's called
She's the-
Misery because they had to think something really creative because you're not going to be able to make money in this small town. Berapa orang wants to buy quilting supplies? So the son was like, hey mom, 2008, hey mom, do you want to do like a YouTube tutorial? And she was like, okay. She's never heard of YouTube. She doesn't even know what a YouTube tutorial is, but she said, okay. So she would teach people how to quilt on YouTube. And today she's got like 600 something thousand subscribers. They fulfill like 5,000 orders, multi-million-dollar company. Yeah, and people come by busloads to learn.
Oh, need to.
Crazy, right?
Kan?
So this is the power. I mean, and this is why we talk about wait a minute, because we at PopCon, like, wait a minute, you know, micro influencers in now. What's stopping us from employee advocacy? What's stopping our CEOs and C-levels and faces of the company to become influencers? Because the world of selling has changed. When you want to buy a product, where do you go? The first thing you do is Google,
course,
right?
Google
And you
it,
read the reviews, baca everywhere, and then you decide. By the time your buyer comes to you, they are already 60% confirmed in to buy. So, which means that if you are selling insurance like Etika, or if you are the vendor, the salesperson in a company, you are gonna have to start creating content.
Yeah. Okay, stop.
That's
Rewind.
something.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Okay, what would you like to
Okay,
know?
so wait, I'm back.
That's so much.
Let's
I'm
go
so
back to you.
yeah. Okay.
So
got it.
you're at MDEC.
Yeah, I was in
So you've
MDEC.
done all this, right? So
Yep.
you just
And
came
then
back
I
from
ended up in
Vegas.
games.
Oh, exactly. Right. So now you ended in games.
Yeah, in the
Oh,
last
so
year.
you shared that, and then
Okay.
because then we need to jump to PopCon somehow, right?
Okay, so
how does that?
so I got
okay.
my first taste of social media. And I was like so excited because at the end of the day, I'm about storytelling and connecting directly with the audience.
Yeah.
Enough of this middle consumer shit, right? Yeah, who who think they
Intimidating,
know
yeah,
everything,
yeah.
but they know shit. Okay, I'm probably gonna die after this, but okay. And then I was kind of getting I don't know if I should share this, kind of getting slightly displaced kind of thing. So then my boss from games like, okay, Nina, come on, let's join me, kind of thing.
Join
And
you meaning
join the
him?
games team.
Okay.
But the thing is, before that, before that, I was kind of let's just say I was miserable in MDAC. I didn't know how to perform better, so I actually went to Osman Rani, to get coaching from him.
Okay.
And then he was like, Nina, you're actually at the best time in your life. I'm like, why? You're getting paid. You don't have to worry about income. Which is the worst thing I could do, because I swore to myself that I will never be that gomin person who just goyang kaki and gets income, because I'm like, kind of thing. Well, people are struggling out there. So I was like, you're getting income. What have you always wanted to do? And I was like, what? I went back home. I was upset. How can I was my running, say me this. I still want to do well at my job. And then I was like, fine. Azran Osman said this. I'll do it. What have you always wanted to do with your life? So that acting thing was still there, that being famous was still there, kind of thing. And then I was like, okay, fine. I want to be a YouTuber. So that's what I decided. And then at that same time, my friends were like, hey, Nina, we're going to have a smartphone filmmaking class. Do you want to come? And I was like, oh, I accidentally created content at Vegas by using an app.
Okay.
So, okay, this is doable, but okay, let's do this. So I went for class. My old friend, who's a director,
Right.
taught me that. And he says even directors don't know it, that the power of creating a video was here. And this was late 2018, good. No, late 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went and we decided that we're going to create content.
So, but you still with MDEC lah? Or
Still with
MDEC?
MDEC.
Okay.
Okay, kind of thing. I mean,
It's on the side lah, side hustle kind of thing.
PopCon didn't even exist. We decided, okay, fine. Let's learn. We're all going to create content. Okay, fine. So then after class, we're like, okay, we create content. Dah letak dekat YouTube. Oh my God, nobody's watching it. Oh my God,
So what
I
was
suck.
the content then? Is about how to do videos and things?
No, my content was vlogging, kind of thing.
Lifestyle lah.
Lifestyle,
Right.
because I do a lot. I mean, as you can hear from my life, I do a lot of stuff. I do this, I do that. So it'll be interesting to see lah. But I was still mencari diri masa tu.
Okay.
Because when you want to get into YouTube, you got to sort out your personal branding, which I was nowhere at that point, because I am an overachiever. I have too many things. That's another problem. Okay, so then we created all these videos, put it up on YouTube, and then we suck. And then we're like, okay, where do we go to learn on how to become better? Right? Because right now we're failed YouTubers, right? So we're like, in America there was VidCon. We can go and learn. There's nothing like it here in Malaysia. Where's the community, kind of thing? And we're like, you're right. And then we went to a friend's space. He had like an event space. And then we were like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Hell yeah, there's no community. Let's start a community. So that's how PopCon started. So PopCon stands for popular content.
When was this?
This was very end of 2017. Yeah.
So that was your first PopCon lah.
So we decided, okay, if we're going to do this, we got to decide. Okay, what do you need? We need speakers. Okay, sorted. So I called one of those guys who has an MSc license. So I called. He's a YouTuber, 168,000. So I asked him to be a speaker. I also had this guy who taught digital marketing.
Sorry, PopCon, popular content.
Popular content. Yeah, that was the idea. And then the color was also premeditated in the sense that everybody tells us our branding is awesome. But at that time, we were just langgar lah, okay? Okay, blue and red, because blue is Facebook, red is YouTube. Yeah, sounds good. And it looks like VidCon's logo. Yeah. We're going to be VidCon. Yeah. So that's why we decided.
The Malaysia VidCon.
Yeah. And also, I told them a lot of social media, this is what my friend, because I have a friend who works in LinkedIn in Silicon Valley. So she said that the reason why LinkedIn chose blue is because blue is a very social color. And it
But you don't get into
relaxes you.
trouble with the YouTube play
Nah.
button. It's not. I guess it's not a YouTube thing.
Yeah, it's not.
But
So
it's
even
so
VidCon has
synonymous
their
with
play
it.
button.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so then we decided, okay lah, but we're not all about social. We want results. Sebab kena ada training corporate. We hold
right,
people
yeah.
accountable. What are you
This is not
doing?
fluff, man. This
Yeah,
is real.
yeah, because we want results. Yeah, let's go red. Yeah, YouTube. So yeah, okay. So came out with this. So that's what happened. So macam at that time it didn't make sense, but it happened. So we did. So with I think it was probably 27th December or something like that, where we decided, okay, let's do our first talk.
And this is a physical event, lah.
physical event. By 6 Jan, we already got our speakers. Everything sorted. Logo came out. Okay, let's do our talk. So just Langga, and we were powered by Canva. I think Canva existed then. Oh yeah, Canva existed then. Canva.
You mean they don't anymore?
No, they still do.
They still, huh?
Whether they were.
Oh, then. Yeah, okay.
So
okay.
we were powered by Canva.
Because it's free.
Yes, I mean I believe in Canva, but my friend used Photoshop. But never mind. Canva PTX.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
it was free. So
Yeah.
that was all we needed. And Facebook and da. So
Yeah.
we had 100 people turn out.
Ah, cool.
And they all wanted to learn. Actually, in terms of RSVP, it was 178. By the time, there's usually a 30% drop. Yeah, so 100. And then we would have a few other talks where we would invite different people. There was a kid with 1,000 subscribers. So we decided to invite him because before I even go up to 10,000, I need to know how to get to 1,000, right?
Yeah.
So we decided to invite him. Budak tu
Dia buat
after he's got a channel where the father wanted him to improve his English. So that was what
I
he's
see. That's sweet.
So it's his vlog, and then I introduced them to our animation companies. Then they would go and visit.
Right.
So that one had 87,000 views,
Whoa,
which was a
cool.
fit for the companies
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, correct.
So at that time, we decided that we were a community for content creators to become better, to help people navigate this really scary world of digital marketing because it keeps changing
And
all
at
the
that
time.
point, it's probably more visual lah. The Instagrams and the YouTubes, as
At that
as
time,
opposed to
TikTok tak
podcasts.
masuk lagi. Podcast lagi tak masuk. We're talking Facebook. Facebook pun influencers are not there. It was not. It didn't occur to us. We're talking YouTube and Instagram. Yeah, YouTube and Instagram. Facebook as well, but not so much content creators. And then we would learn and stuff like that. And then Amin, my co-founder, would go to Singapore to learn from Sujimi how to create content.
Jimmy being
Sujimi is an influencer from Singapore, and his mother is an influencer.
Whoa.
We call her Ibu Salbiah.
Wow.
Yeah, she would talk about how to raise kids and Islamic kind of thing. And she's got sponsors from, I think is it Kyra or Kaya Santan. Her video is all over the malls. This Malay makcik has a video cooking in malls in Singapore.
Wow.
Okay, and Sujimi is the son. And her kitchen is sponsored by Cots Mammoth.
Cool,
Yes,
man.
it's
Some more
crazy.
free.
And my friend who's a Chinese, when we said that we were going to have a workshop with Sujimi, she replied and said, "Oh my God, I love Ibu Salbia." And this is my Chinese friend.
Right.
Yeah, and we're like, what?
Wow.
So that's the
Cross-cultural
power.
too.
It
Yeah,
is. So we
for sure.
decided that, wait a minute, this is something. And we didn't like what was happening in Malaysia.
And at that
the
point,
time.
you guys were doing it just for yourselves, lah.
We were doing it for fun. We knew we wanted to get into business. We just didn't know how to.
Right.
And we decided we wanted to learn. So selfish lah. Okay, kita invite all these people. Then we like become famous lah at the same time. It's like influencer night together. Kind of thing. And then somehow we became kind of cool because we were inviting these people. But we're also kind of wacky. I mean, we will tell people, hey, this is how we started. We just langga. We don't know what we're doing. We still don't know digital marketing. And then suddenly one day, a friend of mine who runs a business, she became a friend. It's like, Nina, can you teach me digital marketing? Huh? I don't know anything about digital marketing. Yeah, but you know more than me. Ching ching. So that's what happened. And then I would, what I would do? I would study about digital marketing during the week and then put it into a deck. And then on Saturday, I would go and teach her. And this was still in MDAC.
Okay.
Kind of thing. We kind of knew we were going towards an agency and stuff like that. And then in 2000, what year was it? I think 2018, 2019, LinkedIn. LinkedIn introduced video. And all the top voices of LinkedIn came in lah.
Oh, okay.
Kind of thing. So I went to study from this guy who grew from 4,000 to 8,000 within 8 months or a year. Kind of thing.
4,000, 8,000, what? Followers?
Followers,
In
kind of
LinkedIn,
thing.
how do they measure? So it's followers.
Followers or something like that.
Friends only.
Yeah,
No, not friends. but
connections.
Connections.
Yeah, kind of thing. So I was, and the thing about me, I'm a fast learner, and I'm also the fastest forgetter, kind of thing. So I would go to the class, and it was me, Pauline, and at the time Elle. We would go there, and I'll be like, oh my God, I'll write down everything, and then I'll go back, and I can, cathart it
Spit
out.
out lah,
Yeah,
huh?
and then I was like, oh my God, I mean, you gotta go on LinkedIn. You have no idea, and it's organic. It's the early days of Facebook. You could get this, and then I didn't do anything. Amin, being the kiasu person that he was like, oh my God, who are these people? Why do they have thousands of followers when
You
I
mean,
know
you
they
mean
kind
before
of
that
suck?
you guys were not in LinkedIn?
We weren't. We tak layan LinkedIn.
Huh.
The last time we were on LinkedIn was we thought it was a boring uncle, auntie site for job. It didn't occur to us until we met these kind of people.
Because I mean, for me, LinkedIn has always been more important than Facebook for many years.
Yeah,
maybe
see?
maybe it's a corporate thing, lah, right?
Yes.
We're always connected on LinkedIn as opposed to
we
that.
loved entertainment. This is LinkedIn so stuffy.
Obviously, you don't have the content which is like on Facebook lah. It's just a.
And then mana ada?
You right lah, it's
Mana
uncle
ada
lah.
LinkedIn influencer?
Tak ada.
Exactly.
It's just really to go when you need a job. That's where you go.
Exactly. And then hello, do I even fit in corporate? So I was
But
like,
see, that's even true because I think if I was there, I don't know how many years ago, that there was not many people sharing content. Everybody was forwarding some article lah, bodoh-bodoh, right? Like you said, right? But nobody wrote about their own opinion on things, right? Only in the last few years when people are putting their own stuff.
Yes.
Before that was just forwarding.
Exactly.
And the audience was more about job seekers lah.
Yes,
right?
definitely.
Now there's definitely a little bit more
now
of the social
it has
thing
changed,
into
and
it.
the more
that's
that
true.
so then we went on LinkedIn, and then I told Amin ni FOMO dan kiasu. See, we embrace all that we are. If we're kiasu, we're okay with it. Make it work, you know?
Yeah.
This is what training has done to us. And we come up with a silly... So, which makes it hard for me and my personal brand because they will tell everybody, okay, you focus on this. You focus on this. Nina, you buat je apa-apa. I'm like, what? I need guidance. That you just be you know, because I'm kind of like, wacky and retarded at the same time. But anyway, yeah. So Amin saw this list of people who were like influencers and they had like 10,000, 15,000 followers and they were like authority figures and everybody on LinkedIn would be like, whoa, kind of thing from the comment. I mean, that's what we saw. And he was not having any of it. He was upset. Because he knew some of them. Some of them, I'm probably going to die again from this. Yes! He knew some of them. And the best thing is, we know that some of them, because the training scene is very small industry. So people have actually walked out of the training of one
some of these
them.
guys.
So he was like,
these guys can get this much.
So dia tak puas hati, dia marah. And when he's marah, he is propelled into action. That is my co-founder. Okay? So then, from so from 400 followers, he wanted to make a point. This man, he grew his follower from 400 to 8,000 ke 12,000 within 4 months. I was like,
mission.
Yeah. And when I was like, oh, I mean, look, I'm here. You know, kind of thing. And suddenly, I'm like at 2,000. I'm like, what the fuck? You're over me? Oh no. So we're competitive that way in that sense.
Yeah.
But it's all in good fun, kind of thing. So then he overtook and so that. My strategy was a bit different. I love people. I cherish connections. So I would put content, kind of thing.
But what was the end goal, or was it just for really organic, just for fun?
Oh, we like to try different platforms because when we try and experiment, we can teach people. That sort of thing.
Okay.
And my post was getting 8,000 at that time. I came out in the newspaper because of my rather interesting career path, kind of thing. And it was a PR for LinkedIn actually.
I
It
see.
didn't occur to me, so I came out like that. And then
because then people would go to LinkedIn, right?
yes,
that
okay.
was the whole
And then
thing.
LinkedIn also, I became one Marketing in Asia's top 100 LinkedIn.
Okay.
Entah macam mana, I pun macam, I pakai letak je apa I shared, stuff like that. But it was just me because I was just me, I would share stuff like that. Apparently some people didn't like it because like tiba-tiba dia mana minah ni tiba-tiba dapat, adalah some people. This year also happened again because some people tak puas hati, so there was a whole post.
I'm sure there was a post on what's the list?
There was a
what is
drama,
this? Right,
that was so cute. And then everybody like keyboard jihadis. I also became keyboard jihadis, kind of thing.
Troll time.
Yeah, troll time. Yeah. And then I was nice though. I wasn't a jihadist as much as I wanted to be, but you still have that thing in there.
Yeah.
You wanted to let it out. So I went to my boyfriend, babe, can I just release it to you because I can't do this on social media,
Yeah.
But here's the
That's
thing.
a branding issue if I do this.
Yeah, I said, okay, babe, what do you want to say? I want to say, bitch, no, because I watch TikTok. That's why I'm like this.
Yeah.
So,
Let's go to TikTok after this.
Oh yes,
okay.
TikTok is amazing as well. It's one of the biggest trends that people should.
That I have not got into at all.
We haven't either.
This TikTok thing is
Yeah.
bizarre.
Okay, but let's finish LinkedIn.
Okay, LinkedIn. Okay, sorry.
So LinkedIn is if you want to establish yourself as a thought leader, that's where you want to go and that's where you want to create content. So I just started on LinkedIn and I've got these 2 posts that got 8,000 views. And then Amin looked at that post. Weh, Nina, bagus. Humble brag works lah. I'm like, what do you mean by humble brag? you know?
What do you mean by humble brag?
Humble brag is when you tell a story where you're being all humble, but actually you're bragging.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so
okay.
those kind of things kind of work. So we're like, so we're like geeks in that sense. We love to look at content. We love to study it because I guess we're just nerds at the end of the day, you know, kind of thing. And we realized that after watching all these people on LinkedIn, we came out with our third commandment.
Right.
So from our PopCon
What was
Fest
the first two?
talks, first one is just langgar, hashtag just langgar. Number 2 is do first, think later. Because we stop ourselves from creating content. So you gotta do it first and do the thinking later. Because that has always stopped me because I'm trying to be perfectionist.
Yeah.
And then we observed LinkedIn and we saw something that was happening there, which came up to the third commandment. It pays to perasan.
Okay.
Why
Meaning?
do I say that? Because humble brag was working. And here's the thing. We Asians, we are brought up to not talk about ourselves. Say, ala, if you're good, other people will talk about you. You know, that sort of thing. And then we're humble. You know, you don't... Talking about yourself is
In fact, it's
considered...
negative, right? It's
Yes,
like,
and perasan. That's what we were brought up to believe. But then on LinkedIn, if you do not talk about yourself, you're going to be left out.
Then
If
this
you-
fella will do the training will be up there lah.
Exactly. So we were like, oh my God, we can do so much better. Kenapa mama ni? And then those people are going to get screwed. So we felt bad for those people
Right,
because we're
right.
righteous lah.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, right.
It's for the love of the game,
Yeah,
you know?
kind of
Yeah,
thing. So we were like, oh my God. So I had to tell myself, it pays to perasan. I got to create content. And along the process, I had to learn to love myself. And a lot of people told me that. It didn't occur to me. But I had to learn to really look at my positive points. You know, you tend to look at yourself and critique yourself, being Asian, so that you can improve. That's tough love. That's how you're brought up, right? So that you can improve, you can be the best. That's how I became an overachiever, okay? But then with this, I had to learn to look at, wait a minute, Nina, actually you've done so much. So you got to stop, take a look, and, you know, like love yourself and actually embrace yourself and all that you've done.
You sound so American right now.
Oh my God, I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's not a bad
but
thing.
it's
I'm just
true.
saying.
Yeah, so which was why I came up with...
Kind is like, oh, it's like positivity. And, you know, yeah, you
because
need
if this is where what's his name, RuPaul comes in. If you don't love yourself, how the hell somebody's gonna love you? You know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you have to embrace yourself. You got to look for those positive points, and you have to give yourself permission to be successful. That's what I would say. And that is some of the things that we teach our students. We call it LinkedIn class. We call it becoming a business influencer. But it's these kind of things that we work with our clients.
So now you talk about that as a business. So how did you jump from
From all
dump
these
this
things
and
to
back
that?
to
Well, PopCon was never making money. I
Right.
can tell you that. We did with the agency that helped me kind of quit my job. So that sustained me. But I think
how was that leap from I
Scary,
think
scary.
popcorn is enough. No, where I'm coming from is more from the entrepeurizing standpoint, right? So
I've always
you know,
been an
you-
entrepreneur. That's
that,
why,
to skip a steady
makan gaji
salary,
tu was never gonna make me happy.
Mm.
But I'm the sort where the universe had to plan for me, where I would have to be miserable at work to find
to be pushed,
to be
really.
pushed.
Okay.
Because I was never meant to be there anyway. So the moment I decided to, okay, I'm gonna be a YouTuber, pop, terus masuk animation, masuk games. Wah, pintu terbuka. Okay lah. And then this client came in and actually wanted to give us money. And we're like, okay, we'll do this. So we didn't know what we were doing, but we said, yes, okay.
So
And
your other partners were also available then to
my
jump
other
in?
partners, you know why they started the company? Because they said that, Nina, you were so miserable, we need to start this for you. I was like, oh
That's
my
what
God.
friends are.
Yeah, that's what friends. And actually, 5 of us at that point were all miserable and macam tak ada hala tujuan.
Right.
So we're like, okay lah, let's just do this because it seemed like fun. So we always knew that we wanted. So this started at the very end of 2017, early 2018. And it's only, so last year we, became, 2019 was the first year of us operating. We were figuring ourselves. And then
Right.
this year, things just kind of fell. And so what happened was that when we started playing around LinkedIn and accidentally terjadi influencer on LinkedIn, kind of, and we're like, oh my God, it's so easy, kind of thing. Then we decided to do, okay, why don't we do this? A lot of people don't understand what is a business influencer. Let's do CXOCon. So CXOCon, actually we all memang dream nak buat VidCon.
Right.
Tapi, okay lah, since...
Which was more retail, right? I mean, it's more public
Yeah,
as
it's
opposed
more
to
public
corporate.
because that was our love, and we were going to call it Con because we're Asian, right? Content conference, and Asians like to double everything, right?
Right.
So dah siap ada ni Con, you know. So we're like,
There's a ring to it.
Exactly, right? So that's always been our dream. And then tiba-tiba business influencer, okay, that makes sense. There's more of a market need. Yeah, we can make money from that. Okay
Yeah, that's more Asian lah. Some who's paying for this thing. Right?
yeah. So CXO Con jadi.
Right.
So
when was that?
this was in August
Okay.
of last year. And then we decided, okay, if you're a business influencer, what are the platforms that would come in? Twitter, because business influencers would be on Twitter as well as LinkedIn. Let's call LinkedIn. So LinkedIn came in and gave a talk. And then LinkedIn...
How popular is Twitter in Malaysia context or Asian context?
Not bad. Okay, if you want to get news, there are Twitter influencers that can help make you relevant and make you news. So you know that year where the Paralympics became mainstream news?
No. It's out of it, was
Malaysian
it?
Paralympics.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
When a lot of them were winning.
Started with Twitter.
But it means there is enough people using Twitter lah.
No. You hire these people and work with them. Their goal, their brief was that they wanted to make all these Paralympians as famous as Lee Chong Wei. Wow, so they pun
No, but meaning there are enough Malaysians who are on Twitter in the first place.
Enough. And then different social media platform have different audience. So you want to see where you want to be. And how you post has got to be custom towards their audience lah.
So
So
briefly
Twitter-
then, so who
Twitter-
are where?
Okay, Twitter is for angry people who love to get angry and yeah,
really?
kind of thing. Yeah,
Okay.
and if you want to be relevant, you got to post like 5. I can't handle it. It's just too much.
Okay.
But if I want to see what is trending, because then I can create content on Facebook or on LinkedIn or on YouTube, then I go to the trend to the search button. All the top 10 trends are there.
Okay.
Okay, if you are coming up with a film, you want to do a marketing strategy with Twitter. Why? Because Twitter is what's happening. Twitter is news. So if you want to know what's news, it will be in Twitter.
Oh.
Ah.
So Instagram?
Instagram is more like gambar lawa-lawa, more like magazine, very polished. That's why they introduced Instagram stories so that you can see the behind the scene, the more relaxed kind of thing. But it's become a place where if you're a makeup brand, if you're a fashion brand, you want to be there. And the audience is mostly female. But you want to share and viral on Instagram, susah. It doesn't have that sharing function.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Twitter is very easy
Yes.
in that sort of thing.
Retweet everything.
And you could just refer to a lot of things.
Oh, sorry, I should have offered you some water.
Yeah, I could have died. No, I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
Let me get you some water now.
But then we're recording.
Pause. I pause. See, nak mati dah. Give me 10
Yeah,
seconds.
sorry. Non-COVID compliant item, is it? I hope this is good information for you.
No, it is.
Okay.
Great. Okay. You alright?
This is canggih,
You're
your
okay
mind.
for time?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Alright, good. Sorry, where were we? So Twitter.
Oh, which audience is where?
Yeah, so Twitter
Okay.
we have the people who want the news. and things
Twitter,
like
if you want to see what's trending, you go there. If you're a film, you really want to get on Twitter because and that's the mistake with suatu ketika. The advertising, they didn't spend on digital advertising, and digital is really important because let's say
that.
there's
It's so
it's
the
so
world has
important.
so changed now that digital first almost when it comes
Yes.
to pushing.
And now with MCO, like
Lagi lah.
you know we've been talking about this and telling companies go digital, and they're like, tak payah, tak payah. And then MCO happens, like, Nina Girl told you so.
Yeah.
Did you
yeah.
listen?
Who's
No.
going to see your billboard now, right?
Kan.
Newspaper pun dah tak boleh.
Billboard pun, when you see billboard, you want to go like, oh, okay. Then you search for it. And then it has to go back to
Correct.
some people are saying website pun dah social media is good enough to get you going.
Actually, that's true, kan?
It's the website
it
already.
is,
If
it
you
is.
are not on social media, you're not real. You're like almost a dodgy company. That's if you think about it.
Right?
you
It's
know?
almost the opposite before, right? Yeah, it's all
Yes.
these freaks lah who's on
Ah.
Instagram showing off, right? Suddenly now it's like, oh, there's
Wow,
credibility
relevant.
with there.
Okay,
Yeah,
having said that, for Instagram, food videos are fantastic. Banyak views.
Yes.
We're talking hundreds
all
of
these KL
thousands.
foodie, Penang foodie and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
apa ni dapur Pek Dot, so funny.
Oh, that one I
and
tak
Khairul
tahu.
Aming.
Oh,
You know.
he's the best.
Yeah, Dapur Pekda is quite good.
Oh, really? Okay. I need
He
to
will
go.
do. It's kind of the same style. You all ni dah bulan puasa ni. He goes like that. So
Okay,
it's
okay.
really really cute. And the way we speak has also changed if you think about it.
Betul. Yeah, yeah,
Now
yeah.
becoming mainstream, like cannot. I didn't realize how much I was using cannot, KENOT, and la kemeh. You know, and because I have a friend who's based in India, so I talk to him a lot, and I
And you're
will.
like, what are you saying?
Yeah, so I will send like cannot, and he's starting to speak like me, and it's very because he's very reserved. So and I will go so nice, you know, with lots of ease and like probably 20 exclamation mark because it's just me, right? And then he would go into a Zoom meeting and start going. And he's a VP, okay? He'd go KENOT, cannot, and then all his staff is like going, what language are you speaking? Oh, typo. Nasib baik dia laju, you know, kind of
Boleh,
thing.
ha.
But yeah, so that's really
Okay.
what's happening.
And what about, so is Facebook, Facebook
Facebook
position
is
now?
orang-orang tua, bapa orang.
Huh.
I would say 40 and above.
Okay.
The kids do not want to be where the parents are, and also
So where do the kids go?
Instagram at that point, and then Snapchat. But Instagram jahat, Facebook jahat. I call it jahat lah. So Snapchat was about to expand, and then Instagram introduced Instagram Story. Tak puas hati. I mean, I was upset because I love Snapchat and the filters are amazing.
So is stories is more relevant now than Snapchat?
Okay, it's because of algorithm. And this is the problem with social media. I call it a problem. It is so hard to keep up to date because they keep changing the algorithm. So last time, when Instagram first started, you would put a photo and you will get a lot of views. And then they want you to pay for ads. So of course, you penat grow 1 million.
Yeah.
Only 20% are watching your content. Like, what the F? So Lush Cosmetics in the UK actually left.
Instagram.
Yeah, they said that this is not what we're about. We're about our community. We do not want to be on a platform where we have to pay to be in front of to be seen in front of you. This is not what our brand is about. And it's not cheap. It's expensive, you know. So and then why people put story is because they wanted to push stories.
Yeah.
So if you were to put story, a lot more people would see it.
I see.
WhatsApp pun ada story sekarang.
Huh?
Yeah, you can actually put stories in your WhatsApp. And people saw my story. I was like,
No,
eh?
but you have
On
to
your
direct
profile.
your WhatsApp to people, right?
No need. I don't know how it works, but
This is new.
oh, you should also install WhatsApp for Business. It's like freaking awesome, you know. I'm like a geek, right? Kind of thing.
I'm not aware of WhatsApp. But how?
How?
I mean, is it my contact list who sees my stories?
Yes. If they're going to you, they will probably see it. Something like that.
Okay, like they don't make it too easy right now because the fact that I have to look for this place to do this.
It's exactly okay. You see yang ni, but yang ni tak ada lah. It will say the stories kind of thing. WhatsApp for Business is also. By the way, WhatsApp is also social media. Yeah.
No, I guess it behaves like it now, right?
It is. Messaging apps is considered social media.
I see.
So globally,
Although it's not. I mean, the reach for social media is it's kind of being pulled, right? Whereas here I need to spam it out on my WhatsApp groups, right?
Yeah, in a way.
Can.
Or you create a broadcast. Or you can have Telegram where the broadcast is there.
Oh,
Okay.
Telegram is so cool.
Oh, you have, is it?
Oh yeah,
I've
we've been
used-
using it when it
Etika?
first came out. Yeah, because
nice.
it's just it's encrypted and
yeah.
and we like the groups in there where you can push stuff out but people cannot reply to it, right? So
Oh, right. The broadcast,
the
right?
broadcast, yeah. So that's
And
much
people
better.
choose to follow,
Yeah.
which is great, right?
Yeah, that we didn't realize that before. That you could
So
actually
how many
just
followers
search
do you
for
guys
groups.
have?
I don't know.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we go to Facebook. Facebook, if you're a content creator doing video on Facebook, this is where Sujimi is really great.
Huh. But
Face-
but you're saying it's only the old people who watch it lah.
Tapi ada juga tapi not active. And Facebook, people are scrolling. So if
Yes.
you're doing content, your first few seconds is really important to get them to watch your
stop.
content. Okay, so we call it a lean in audience. And paling lama 8 minutes or 6 minutes is good. Good content would be 1 to 2 minutes, just like Instagram as well lah. Okay. Having said that, there's Instagram TV. Okay, so Instagram would be a slightly younger audience. YouTube is different because people go there. It's the second largest search engine, yeah. So the search is really powerful, and people go there to learn. It's become like a second university, and you can find all sorts of content, kind of thing. And it's a lean back audience, which means it's almost like Netflix. When they go on YouTube, they want to see
You're
longer
gonna sit there and
content.
watch, yeah.
So when Sujimi first went on YouTube, people were writing in to tell him, I want to watch longer. Yeah, kind of thing. So if you know where you want to go and what you want to do, you do it differently lah. Okay. There's a lady in Cambodia who doesn't speak nothing. Her channel is like, I think 1 million subscribers,
Right.
possibly.
What does she do?
That's the thing. She does all this I think it's called bushcraft, where she builds things with her hands and no machines. She built a house, a bamboo house, using just her hands.
Oh, I sometimes follow this.
There's no edit,
this
nothing.
I don't know
Oh,
whether
that
it's
lady.
no, it is a guy
Okay.
who does this underground swimming pools and thing, right? It's like with his hands.
With his hands, right?
Huh,
All
it's-
natural,
huh.
sustainable, kind.
It must-
Amazing, right?
It's just like what? And you just get hooked, right? Because you want to just see this thing complete.
Yes,
kan?
yes, 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 yes. Boleh layan lah.
Ha, boleh
I was
layan. It's
watching
bad. These videos are addictive.
DNA court, parental DNA court, and
I
I was
don't know.
and then I was watching all these crime, because the thing about YouTube is once you watch, they start recommending you,
Yeah,
right?
and it's so
then-
relevant,
And then
kan?
I get stressed out, and then my friend is
It's
like,
a
Nina,
rabbit
can you please
hole.
stop watching because you're going mental. I was like, oh my god, okay, what's healthy? Okay, parental DNA. Now I just watch tiny homes. You know,
Okay.
oh, yeah, kind of thing.
But it is amazing though.
It
Still,
is, yeah,
It
yeah,
makes you like,
yeah.
betul lah.
Of
You
course, I
fit
still
everything
watch
in one.
movie trailers because I'm a sucker for that. Okay, then we have TikTok. No, we have LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn, if you think about it, is the professional
Yes.
version of Facebook. And when people go on LinkedIn, believe it or not, only 30% are looking for a job. Which means what are the 70%
Yeah.
doing? So they are there to network. They are there to learn. And learning is huge on LinkedIn.
I think selling is what's becoming irritating on LinkedIn.
Yes, that's because they're doing the old ways of selling, which is spamming and selling people. People do not like to be sold to.
You
So
know, there are a lot of people who just want to be
Yeah.
friends, let's connect, and then straight away, do you want to
Yeah.
transform
I feel
digitally? You're like,
raped, you know?
please, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What I tell our class, our students, like, oh my God, you feel raped. I accepted your
Well, I wouldn't be
friendship."
there. I wouldn't go that far, but it is annoying, right?
It's-
It's become annoying because before it was genuinely trying to
Yes,
connect, right?
yeah.
I've got something relevant. Let's go. Now it's like, hi, connect. Thank you for accepting. Do you want to transform this? Do you want to?
And do you know that when you have a premium account, you also have access to LinkedIn Learning, and which used to be lynda.com.
okay.
So there's so many videos that you can learn and level up. And then LinkedIn also has their services, which a lot of people don't know. I mean, yes, you've got the premium account and the whatnot, but we are also LinkedIn's partner in Malaysia. We actually sell their talent solution. So we call it, most of the clients call it hand of God. We call it Thanos' glove because
What does it do?
what does it do? You pakai this glove, you petik jari, you can crawl into the system and look for the people that you want. So let's say you're
okay.
leaving the company and Attica wants to find somebody exactly like you, you can find the lookalike. So they will match
wow,
it.
cool.
It's like, oh my God, okay, this is me as a geek. You
So
know,
let's
kind of
like
thing.
back to their core before.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
In
So
terms of
that's
putting
just the
people,
talent solution. We haven't even gone into the sales solution, the ads. And the ads, because LinkedIn punya data is so rich, because if you think about it, they capture you dari student, your volunteer work, like all my volunteer work at Bristol University, at MDAC and stuff like that, all my co-curricular
Yeah.
will be captured in there. So it's so rich that you can specifically target in terms of location and even volunteer work. Yeah.
And
that's
it's a
the
lot
thing.
more honest than Facebook.
Yes.
I think the trend might change because if now people know this is what it's for,
Yeah.
suddenly your profile so hebat lah, right? You save the world a few times a year.
Yeah.
Whereas before, Facebook is where you go fake profile,
Yes.
right? Whatever nonsense, LinkedIn is a bit more serious. This is
Serious
me,
and stuff
right?
like that.
And then now let's
Uh,
connect.
Yeah.
But
so
I don't know. There's a danger
that-
of it going the other way now.
There
right?
is a danger, but you can also kind of tell from postings, kind of thing.
That's true lah,
And
that's
it's
true.
a very trustworthy. I would say data shows that 60 to 80%. Very trustworthy platform, and you can actually
believe
do
that, yeah.
sales. 80% of B2B sales actually happens.
Yeah.
In
That's
Yeah.
probably true.
So we as a company do not do cold call anymore. We just do content and people come in and call us, kind of thing. So that's how our business has changed.
quick one on TikTok.
Okay.
This TikTok ticking.
TikTok is
So what's
16
up
to
with this
24
thing?
is the highest audience.
Huh.
Okay, now, do you know that TikTok, guess how much they made last year?
I don't know. Must be billions lah.
Yeah, 78 billion.
Huh.
Mei saja I dengar dah beratus billion. It's crazy. And you want to know what's even...
And they make money from what? Adverts too?
Adverts mostly. But ByteDance, the company, the parent company for TikTok, is actually a news aggregator company. That's how they started.
Oh.
Yeah.
So TikTok, what I knew of it before was just people doing, this 10-second funny dances and singing songs, right? That's it.
When I was
Now
in
it's gone
VidCon,
weird,
this was what was happening. At that time, I think it was Vine. So Vine was like 15 seconds video.
Yes, I remember. They're
Yes,
dead, right?
they're dead.
Okay.
Vine was actually under
15-second,
Twitter.
5-second videos.
But they just killed it off like that because they didn't have money to support it. They didn't see how to make money. So 15, and when Vine first came out, everybody's like, oh, this is no big deal because they're 15 seconds. But before you know it, all these influencers came up, organic, and people started paying attention. And here's the thing, if you think 15 seconds is not going to impact the bigger one, it does. Why? Because 15 seconds, you watch more, before you know it, it's already 1 hour. And that is what is happening on TikTok. You boleh layan benda tu. Before you know it, I'm already like 1 hour.
But
on
it's just
TikTok.
videos, right?
It's videos. Okay, here's the thing.
I saw some
You know what
comedy
powers
stuff
them? Their AI. The AI is... They use AI like a whole new other level compared to like Netflix and stuff like that. So Netflix, the AI is very much, I would say, not active. They look at you and they just suggest, and then you decide what you want to watch. With this one, the AI is instrumental. You cannot choose. Everything is just your feed. So you will be fed. And how fast you scroll through, how long you stay, they will suggest content like that.
Oh, so it's not like Instagram where you follow people.
Imagine
and all
everything
that.
is just your feed.
Huh.
And
So what you
layan
scroll
tau.
and what I scroll will be very different lah.
So it depends on what. And
So how do I tell you, hey, I just saw this one?
you
Go
have
and
to use
see.
the share button, and then you send it. And they're very smart. They put the TikTok there, so you know the videos from TikTok,
Yeah.
but they allow you to share across all
Any
platforms.
platform.
And they have multiple different types of advertising. You have the normal advertising where you put ads in between the feed, but you can also do filter. So imagine you have a brand like Dettol came in during the COVID when it first started, washing hands. So everybody started doing the washing hands. It became a challenge. So you remember when everybody was, Kiki, do you love me? So everybody was doing that dance.
No.
Okay, that was...
Uncle 40 years old
Okay,
Facebook.
but that was some challenge where you bucket
Oh, the
ALS.
ice bucket.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one,
They were doing this in TikTok line instead.
TikTok is prime for it. So if you think about it, they
Sorry, was
have
there a limit to
Twitter.
TikTok in terms of 10 seconds, 15 second thing as
15
well?
seconds.
Oh, as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it makes all these challenge easy. So when you see something that is trending, you put out your content go up, kan? And it's fun. So you go and do it, and it's very easy for you to make videos. So you just do it lah. And they put sounds there. So you have like I'm a sucker for Kardashian because they're just ridiculous and they're always fighting. So the sound is there. You just take it and you immediately can use it and go, Courtney, da 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 da. So I saw a video of Jonas Brothers mimicking the Kardashians fighting. See about handbag, like So it's a lot of fun. And if you follow
So it's
Brooklyn
kind of
Nine-Nine,
creative too, lah, right? So you
it's
can
very
do,
creative. So and it doesn't understand geographical boundaries. You could have a person in China singing or dancing to an Indonesian song. I just saw Howie, is his name Howie Mandel? The guy from one of those America's...
He's Got Talent thing, right?
yeah, the X
the
Factor
judge, right?
thingy.
Yeah,
Yes,
one
yes.
of the judge, yeah.
So he was doing an Indonesian song because that song is very viral.
Okay.
Yeah, and J-Lo will do different dance steps. Yang mana trending ah. That's why BTS is so popular because BTS will launch their music video there and then they'll do... Have you heard of this chicken noodle dance? This is why my friends like Nina, you
I feel
speak
so
like my kids.
Then?
Yeah, so I was like, oh my God, the chicken noodle dance, right? And they're like, what the heck are you talking about? Oh, the chicken noodle dance is a challenge, Nina, you're speaking like my kid. And I'm like, I can't help it because I see it there. So there's this song called Chicken Noodle Dance, Chicken Noodle Dance. So there was a dance step to it.
Okay.
So then, and the song is very addictive because you hear it a lot, right? So you would follow the dance step with chicken noodle dance, chicken noodles with the soda on the side. Like, what kind of song is that?
Yeah.
But you know it lah.
The last I would know about is that the Shark Tank thing, not Shark Tank, the right? Baby Shark.
Baby Shark.
Right?
Yeah,
That was
that's
from TikTok too, right? Did that come out from TikTok?
No, I think masa tu tak sangat.
But I'm sure if that came again,
Yeah.
TikTok
you
would
know
have
who's
blown up,
really slaying TikTok? Maiden, your owner. Yeah, he and TikTok is so much fun. It's one of the best, most creative apps in terms of social media because you boleh edit and show something else. So what he was showing this telur. this whole tray of telur in his baju Melayu kot.
Huh?
So he would do this, and then suddenly the next scene, the telur dah macam boiled, and then the next scene it's already like kopek and whatever.
Okay,
So it's pretty cool lah. So all the netizens are saying, "Oh, this Maiden is really slaying TikTok," kind of thing. Yeah, that's
I think that's the difference between TikTok and like even Instagram, at least just filters, right? It's got taken it to the next level of your own creativity.
So when you
kan?
come in as a brand, you can actually put it there. One example that I'd love to share with people, I think it was Pantene in Thailand. So they came out with this sakura
Pantene, the shampoo thing.
cherry blossom flavor shampoo lah. So the filter was at the start your hair is like, kind of thing, and then tiba-tiba flowers came from the sky.
Oh, you mean so Pantene would partner with TikTok to put their graphics in it?
They hired TikTok to come out with a filter. So the filter for this new shampoo, because it was sakura blossom or cherry blossom, I can't remember, was at the start your hair is like
so
really
clever.
messy, and then the the filter changes, flowers come, and suddenly your hair is like Rapunzel, kind of thing. And it was so popular, it even went outside of Thailand.
Right.
Because people love.
It's
fun.
accessible to everybody, right?
Yeah, that's what I think. So AR and VR is another thing that you could do with Instagram and TikTok as well. It costs about 20 to 40,000. There's a campaign by. They also do this thing I call it seeding. So Penang wanted to promote Penang as a tourism. So this was last year. So what they did was they did like an Experience Penang campaign. So they invited 15 influencers and key opinion leaders, 15 celebrities and influencers to go to Penang for 3 days, 2 nights. And then from there, I think 50 videos was created, something like that. And because these people are high profile and part of it was challenged, then other people started creating their own video. In the end, I think there was 1,500 videos, amassing an eyeball about 26 million.
Wow.
Yeah, so it is crazy.
Unfortunately, the MCO did all that way.
This was like way before though. Yeah, so that is the power of TikTok, and it's amazing. And then when you're stuck in a house, because it's so much fun, you can play with all these props and stuff like that and acting. And one of the reasons why I love TikTok is because you see a lot of parent with their kids.
I see a lot of that.
And because a lot of the kids are the ones who love these things, so they will get their parent in.
Because I see a lot of the TikTok reposts in Instagram, kan?
Yes.
But it's actually not from Instagram itself.
No.
It's all
And
TikTok.
and the beautiful thing about TikTok is they make it really easy to create content. Yeah, so they figured that one out. And then another one is the challenge kind of thing. So, and because they're a news aggregator, their first product was actually the AI was about reading thousands of I think 5,000 articles, and within 3 seconds it comes out with a feed that's perfect for you. So they then use that for TikTok. So that's why as you scroll,
hyper customized.
Yeah,
right?
so I've got a guy who's like who's a nerd, who's a geek, who's VR, and then I told him about TikTok. Oh, you gotta, kind of thing. And then he started scrolling. He said, "Hey, can layan, man." So you've got him, and then you've got me, who's fluffy and bimbo-y. You've got a nerd there, and we both, we can layan. So I was telling him why it's so awesome, kind of thing. So they kind of surpass Google in terms of in terms of revenue. It's crazy, kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, the chart, Google of course they started earlier, but within 2 years of launching TikTok, Google was here.
TikTok
was
overtaken.
up here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I need to go
I'll
research
send you
this a
the
little bit
article
more.
if
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
interested.
that'd be cool.
It's amazing. And then there are new business influencers coming up on TikTok. Like Maiden is one. He's slaying it personally. There's also this Datuk Kelvin, I think because I was talking to one of the TikTok influencers and I'm like, what business is it? But I know I'm watching it, and he was like, oh, dia jual curtain, Datuk Kelvin jual curtain. She goes like, really? So you know what he
Such
does?
Amazing brand, huh?
He would work with his employees, and most of his employees are Malay. So you've got this Chinese guy speaking Malay, and he will always do like, this thing where it's about positivity, but they act it out. So like his staff would be like, this girl macam tak layan the staff because he doesn't have money, and then he works hard, he succeeds, and then the girl's like, oh my god, I should have, and then he like, oh no, I don't layan you anymore. So those kind of
this
content.
corny, really corny
kind of thing. And then
storylines,
and he's in there, and then he gives the words of wisdom, kind of thing. And there was one that I posted on LinkedIn.
But all that in 15 seconds.
Yeah, I also don't know. I think maybe it goes
Or
up to
in
1
series
minute
lah
code.
kot.
I pun tak tahu. There was another one where this little Chinese girl, she hero worships Dr. Hisham.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had that on my feed, and
Right.
she'll be telling people, she'll tell the grandma, no, you cannot go out. Dr. Hisham says no, and then she'll wear her nurse outfit and she'll start injecting Dr. Hisham says you have to wash your hands. Dr. Hisham this, Dr. Hisham that, and then when there's a press conference, she's the first one there, and she's a small Chinese girl,
That's
and she was
cute.
like, Hisham is my hero. Happy birthday, Dr. Hisham. So when I posted it on LinkedIn, I think I got like almost 5,000, 7,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah, because she's adorable, you know, kind of thing. And it's just so genuine of her love. And we all felt that. So, yeah. So,
Good line.
and this year, I would say it's the year of authenticity because there's a lot of fakes out there. There's a
For
lot
sure.
of, it's no longer, I think companies are also realizing it's no longer about how many followers you have. It's about how many engagement when you create a content, how many people are actually watching.
Yeah.
Because some people have so many followers, tapi 10 likes. And we're like, huh?
Yeah.
Why
And I
would
think
I
that's
hire you?
where a lot of their marketing guys, right, will
Yeah.
now be a bit more careful. Not careful, but
Yes.
it's a bit more smarter in terms of choosing
Yes.
the influencers for their.
And if
you know?
micro influencers are even more powerful, because this year is also the year of micro influencers. So micro
Which
influencers
is?
are like people like you and me with at least 1,000 friends. So if we were to, and we are more powerful than if you put Nilofa. So Nilofa may have, I don't know.
Better than Nilofa.
Tu dia.
Okay, thank you.
Nilofa
Sorry,
would probably have, okay, let's just say 2 million. Her engagement is usually about 3%. So
Okay.
you do the math. I left math ages ago. I need a calculator.
6,000 people.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, there we go. Okay. And if we were to hire an army of micro influencers with 1,000, their engagement is probably 30%. And if your friend,
Because these are because our
real
friends
people.
are correct.
Yeah,
right?
and
You
why
actually
would we
know them,
promote
right?
something unless we believe it? And why would you buy something?
that
Because
makes
it was
sense.
recommended by a friend. So imagine if I hire these micro influencers who are a fraction of Nilofas, and I can hire about 100,000 of them, for example, and that would have more reach and more engagement than Nilofa. Because again, Nilofa is somebody up there, an actress. She's probably paid to endorse something, whereas your friend is real.
Back to the
and
authenticity.
authenticity. And so for this year, we predict, because part of our job at PopCon, we do this every year where we look at all the data and whatnot, and we get an update and share with people, because social media changes so fast, algorithm changes so fast, you don't know what's in and whatnot. So we tend to share with them, which is available, but there's just so much information anyway. So 2020, I would say, is in terms of platform, we're looking at LinkedIn. If you want organic reach and growth, LinkedIn and TikTok, definitely. But you got to be authentic. Even on LinkedIn, we would say authentic. To be authentic is scary. To be real. And
Although having said that, LinkedIn has always been that more honest platform lah.
yes.
As a start,
tapi
right?
ada juga, because it's a business platform, because it's a professional platform, you want to jaga your muka. You're proper. You don't say.
Okay. So I
tepi,
kind
you know
of
what I mean?
mix authenticity
Yeah.
with professionalism lah. So
Yeah.
one may
So,
not be the other.
Me and Amin call it ketat. Muka ketat. And you want to be ketat because, I got a reputation to maintain. Like with me.
But you see, that's
I
the thing, right? Recently, all this true. But before, like I said, right, in my years in LinkedIn, it wasn't a place for you to portray yourself so much, right? So there is no
Right.
question of being ketat or not, because
Yes.
it's not where you go and show yourself off, right? It's
Yes.
just I'm seeking other people to connect.
There-
Whereas now it's
Yes.
become it's a
So
little
there
different
are
now.
3 people that we tell them, come and join our class. Number 1, if you want to position yourself as a thought leader, business influencer, that's where you go. Number 2, if you are a salesperson and you want to sell your product. So there are ways we are now in this value economy. I call it value economy. You gotta show your value, educate people, because it's a learning platform. People are there to learn and to network. You go and sell orang. We already
Oh yeah.
with adverts, right?
Correct.
Everybody's trying to sell. So it's about genuinely connecting with people, genuinely making friends, and genuinely creating content that gives value to people. So that's what we say. You not connect when there's a certain way you connect. That sort of thing. And the other one is employee advocacy. You see?
Yeah.
Because even as an like one of my friends was saying, oh, you're gonna lose your staff if you go to Nina's class, you know. And I'm like, no, 90% of your employees already have social media, and they're talking about you 50% of the time.
Yeah.
So you might as well. And
That's right.
and
It's almost
companies-
like two different personas, right? When I'm at
Yeah.
work, I'm like this. Outside, I'm gonna slam my own company anyway, right?
Yeah. So you might as well. And moving forward, millennials are not gonna choose just anybody to work with. It's no longer about money. Money is no longer that important.
Oh, it always is, but yeah, it's another factor.
Yeah,
lah.
it's another
it's
factor. At the end of the day, people want to contribute to something, and these millennials, they are fussy. They're like, okay, what is this company doing? How is it impacting the earth? How is it sustainable? They ask about all these things. What's the culture like? You know, that sort of thing. So questions we never ask. We use masuk je. They
Langgar
start
je.
asking. Langgar je kan. With them, it's like, although now it's MCO, I don't know if they're fussy. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
thing.
you get.
So
Hey,
that is the
it's-
kind of
yeah.
I'm sorry. I think I
No.
talked a lot.
I
Yeah.
was a little bit more because it's almost 2 hours. I just
Really?
just- yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna divide this or what.
No.
Okay.
It's that was the one of the things that I didn't get
About?
on podcasts
Okay.
in Malaysia or even
Oh,
in this
podcast
region.
is starting, by the way.
Yeah, and I
Ah.
couldn't get any long form podcast, so that's why I started it. I was like,
Right.
I want
okay.
something long. I want to sit
Actually,
back.
you
and just
are
listen,
in an
right?
advantage. You want to know why?
Hmm.
When you create YouTube, because I overdid the study because I wanted to convert
Huh.
ours into a podcast, right?
Hmm.
You as a podcaster have a bigger opportunity to create an even deeper relationship with your audience. Why?
Hmm.
Because you have that longer time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get to develop that relationship, not once, but a few more episodes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Whereas us, 10 minutes. I got to do a lot of 10 minutes, and that's a lot of
Yeah.
work, by the way.
But I
You
think
know.
but it's
Ah.
also a smaller audience lah.
No, it's
Yeah.
bigger. Podcast is huge.
You
Do you
reckon?
know who bought Anchor FM?
Siapa?
Spotify.
Oh, Spotify did. Yeah.
Spotify
And they just bought Joe Rogan
suddenly,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
Spotify suddenly got into the podcasting. So what does it say?
Yeah. They're gonna have to do
Ding, ding,
video.
ding,
They're gonna have to do
ding,
video because of Joe Rogan, right? They have to
I
do
don't
video.
know. But basically, Spotify, well, this is what TikTok and everybody was doing. You want people to stick to your platform, to come to your platform. You want to be that beehive where all the bees go to. You bring the big influencer in,
Yeah,
you lock
yeah.
them in, and then the others will come.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how they stick and they stay. Because once they stay, they're not going to go anywhere else. So Anchor FM is where they go lah. I mean, they bought over Anchor
Yeah,
FM. I was
yeah.
like, whoa, in my research lah, kind of thing.
Yeah. Actually, now that you mentioned it, I've just remembered. Yeah, correct.
Mm.
But there you go.
That sort of thing. So podcasting, because we were told by Sujimi, podcasting is coming up. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and Joe Rogan and all that. It
Yeah.
makes a lot
Because
of
it's
sense.
been so I'm ahead of the curve lah. Because
You
I was
are very
gonna
ahead
say
of the
that
curve.
I was in LinkedIn
Mm.
and you're saying right now who is coming up, and I've been listening to podcasts because
Link-
it's always
LinkedIn
been
you can optimize further.
because it's always where the uncles are. You see, it's not so hip. Then
Okay.
suddenly all the people are coming. No, I need to leave. I need to go away somewhere else. To go
No.
you know.
Stay on podcast. So when I saw you, I was like, oh my
Quietly.
God, he's a CEO and he's podcasting shit. I can learn from him. You know, so I was like,
I don't know.
but
We all
didn't
langgar je. We
No,
all
I didn't want to
stumbling.
ask you. So, baru je kenal tiba-tiba, which web host are you using? But I researched this, you know.
Ha, tak ada. No.
I'm coming from a real content creator. So the way we see it, I mean, I think we accidentally found our niche, which
Yeah.
is PopCon, the Southeast Asia's business influencer
Right.
school. Yeah,
No, but definitely there's potential. Sounds like right. That you're gonna do
definitely.
this.
And as
Yeah.
we go along, we're realizing that even writing posts and putting a gambar, you still get views.
Yeah.
So you could be a writer. You could be a comic person, drawing and creating content on LinkedIn, because that's what one of our students are doing.
So how far do you want to take PopCon? Let's go back to you.
Oh
for
my
a
God,
minute.
as big as possible.
Mm.
Huge.
So where you're at right now sounds like
We're
touch
just-
tangan kind of thing. You know, it's like there's just so many things that you can potentially do.
Yes.
And you're only Malaysia for now, or are you already regional? Or what's the story?
Our first conference became regional accidentally
Mm.
because a whole bunch of people from Brunei came because I went to Brunei to give a talk, and
Right.
then they came, and then they became like our groupie because they were young, and I was like, oh my god, but it's pretty good, you know,
Cool, huh?
it's so cool.
Groupies.
Yeah, groupies. They're young, and then because we gave some free tickets as well, you know, to students. So you know, when young, they're like, oh my god, we love it, you know. So it was a lot of fun. They still follow us on social media,
Yeah,
kind of thing. So when Suatu Ketika was launched, I was like, okay, you guys want to go? I'll get you tickets, you know, that sort of thing. And then so people come to us because they get lost. So they're looking for answers. So we simplify things, and we kind of handhold you to become an influencer. Right now we're focusing on LinkedIn.
Okay.
But other platforms, because we started with smartphone filmmaking, smartphone photography, stuff like that. So we kind of know. And
So how many of you right now? PopCon?
we started with 5. Now we're 3 because we got divorced
Oh,
and dumped.
no.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Rivals now
startups, right?
or no?
Possibly, but it's
Dun,
okay.
dun, dun.
Have to
Oh,
be
it's
better.
it is,
it's okay.
right? Yeah,
It's okay. I
everybody
think
floats.
everybody has their own market. Of
Yeah.
course, I had to clean a lot of shit to get to where I am, to get to this level. No, I'm just kidding. Zen. No.
Yeah, love yourself. Come on, it's
yourself,
okay. It's
yeah.
not about them. you
No,
know?
but you see, the love yourself is really important. Like one of our student, he hasn't even gone for our class. He's gone for the 99. The next one is a 2000 because we do coaching and whatnot. We're pretty cheap compared to what the marketing gurus charge out there. So we
So
feel
operationally, so when you say you do these classes,
online.
now with all
Since
this, I was gonna say, right?
MCO like
Can't it-
basically expanded us and made us clearer like nobody's business. I mean, for somebody who was promoting digital, we were in
in a
real,
classroom.
Yeah. So I was like,
Like
there was some
what?
that was
Kan?
something. But I guess we were scared of technology and how to use it. We were always putting it off. We needed to learn. Didn't hear our own advice lah.
But actually, I
Yeah.
think it's not so much you guys. It's also your students, right? If I was
Yes.
going to go to a classroom or go do this online course, I'm going to
Exactly.
go online course. Ini what midnight activities
Like
is, right?
Amin
So
loves online meeting, but none of
Yeah.
the clients were ready for
exactly.
it. MCO
Yeah.
forced us to look at things
Exactly.
differently. We
Yeah.
flourished in MCO. So we decided, okay, let's start our group. So whoever's listening can join us. It's PopCon. We help you pop online, something like that.
Okay.
That's our group. So we share content
Right.
about Instagram and whatnot so that you guys can learn. Sometimes there's polls. Every week we do an interview where we interview people. So during MCO, it was about business survival. So how to pivot and stuff like that, because we really wanted people to continue and flourish and survive. You know, and
Or in
mindset-
fact, take advantage of it, right? It becomes an opportunity.
So
yeah.
mindset is, we say it's social media. At the end of the day, it's about mindset. You know, and I also study theta healing, which is where I know
It sounds like something from Goop or something.
Goop, what's Goop? Okay, theta healing, where we work with people's limiting belief, because we are infinitely able to achieve whatever we want. The only person stopping is us ourselves. So it's about clearing beliefs, clearing all this drama, mas kecil lah kan, you know, kind of thing. So and with the students, when they're stuck, I kind of know, and I'll be like, okay, you need to go for this session. Lepas tu, posting macam
Your
epic.
students, what kind of
the ones who right now we have the LinkedIn ones. The most,
Okay.
so they come for our LinkedIn.
demographics?
Business owners, also salespeople. Oh shoot,
Whoa, terkejut.
that's an emergency. I guess that's the end of the show.
I guess so. This is not a.
This is going to be a 3-hour episode.
Okay, so
See, if you had WhatsApp for business, this could have been WhatsApp to you. This is a drill. Please
Yeah.
remain where you are. This is serious. Get out of the
I guess
building.
this is real.
Yeah.
Your attention, please. Due to an emergency, it is necessary to evacuate the terminal building.
what's the terminal building?
Is this not the terminal building?
It's never been.
Or disabled.
You guys might want to look into WhatsApp for business for the building.
And make
Yeah.
your way into the open. The emergency exit signs show the quickest route out of the building.
I opened all my presentation and I didn't use it.
I don't like that
Okay,
because you need to. This is great. This is fantastic.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Your attention, please.
Berapa kali you nak cakap ni?
Emergency, it is
Okay lah.
Maybe until we leave the building. You better end it off with
So,
the back.
okay.
This is as authentic as it gets.
That's right, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the building says enough of Nina. We gotta
Yeah, I'm
go.
so sorry.
It's been a pleasure.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll
I
speak
hope
again.
this is good.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
fantastic.
okay.
Right.
If you want like specific stuff like TikTok and LinkedIn, maybe I get my co-founder to talk about LinkedIn.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah,
could.
yeah.
Yeah, another session.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Bye bye.
much. Yeah.
It's good to see you again.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.